got you, now you're blessed. You through this dark inside. No more hiding, no more lies. Look into my eyes and charted lies. The structure of crowdstrike. Now it's time for you to fucking die. You fucking missed. Oh, you fucking missed. 5 shots fired, not one hit. Just a trace, now you're on the list. Sniper got you, now you're blessed. We're standing tall. Fight, fight, you lost it all. Fight, fight, your chance is gone. Fight, fight, it's the final song. I'm out here, but I still stand. Coloring one shit, now you're down. Separating, view is clear. One shot, one kill, no one's found. You fucking missed. Oh, you fucking missed. 5 shots fired, not one hit. Just a trace, now you're on the list. Sniper got you, now you're missed.
I, Kamala Harris, am your Democrat candidate for president because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility at the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I take insignificant things and I discuss them as if they're significant. And I believe that exploring the significance of the insignificant is in itself significant. Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time. Another trick is trying to sound black. I pretend to celebrate Kwanzaa, and in my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. And okay, look, maybe my work addressing the root causes of the border crisis were catastrophic, but my knowledge of international politics is truly shocking. The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. It is an alliance that is strong and enduring. And just remember, when voting this November, it is important to see what can be, unburdened by what has been. And by what has been, I mean Joe Biden. Do you think the country went to over the past 4 years? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Gillette. What's up, guys?
That was an intro.
That certainly was.
Holy cankles, it's Kamala.
No. Now, is it Kamala or is it Kamala?
I don't know.
mean,
It's competence in a pantsuit,
the
whichever way
question.
you look at it.
I mean,
So
either
no matter
way,
what,
it's
we don't
full
give a
of
shit,
cum.
right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Who's clicking something?
Not me.
Not me.
Genuinely,
It might
no.
have been me.
That was
It might have been me.
that was you.
Might-
I was about
it
to
might have
blame
been
Shell.
me.
I was about to blame Shell.
Don't blame
God
her. It
damn
was
it.
definitely me.
You're just
Um,
coming here unvoiced. Can't blame her.
So I just want to say that
Fair.
Kamala is a prominent Democrat who just subverted the will of all Democrats all across the country by bypassing the democratic process, selecting the preferred Democrat to take on Donald Trump as the Democratic nominee. So that begs the question, is democracy still on the ballot?
Never
Sounds a
won.
lot like a coronation to me.
It sounds more like the lines of somebody just said, "Hey, I want that money."
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that. But shouldn't I do the intro first?
We have an intro.
Well, I announced everybody. God,
Oh, yeah, go for it.
what the fuck? Where the hell have you been?
Drinking.
He has been out for the last 2-3 shows. 2 shows.
Two shows.
Just two.
Two
I was-
shows.
I was here for
You were
the
there
first
for the-
one, and
Yep,
then I had
we've done
work.
3 since.
Yes. Okay. Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Insanity Developing. My name is Tactical Turtleneck. I like long walks on the beach, making love to my wife while filming it. And no, you'll never see that video. Today, we have a wonderful guest with us, but we will get to him last because I'm saving the best for last. So I'm going to cue it over to Dalton. Dalton, who the hell are you?
What's up, guys? I'm Dalton. I'm a web developer, I guess. I also do music. And I'm laughing at the fact that Donut Operator just ratioed the crap out of Tack on Twitter.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. It's the greatest fucking thing ever.
Nice.
Yep. All right. Demi, who are you?
Hi, I'm Dimmy. Somebody that just kind of hangs around, does things, drinks, and for some reason they dragged me onto the show because I'm already insane. Done a lot of editing, done a lot of writing, and now I'm here. Now, who do we
Yes.
have left?
We have you.
This guy.
I guess
Yeah.
that'd be me. I'm Renegade Sailor, Renegade_Sailor on Twitter. U.S. Navy veteran. Now I live on a sailboat, kind of just running around out here doing my thing, being a bad influence. So happy to be here today.
We're happy you're
Right
here,
on.
bud.
Yeah, I mean, could you really be a bad influence? Maybe to Dalton. Dalton's
Dal-
innocent.
Dalton's innocent.
Yeah.
Look at this sweet summer child and all of his
Yeah.
hatred for poor people.
I don't know. We dragged you all over to
God.
Thailand. I'm sure we could get you in trouble somewhere or another.
Fucking hot. It's not going to be trouble. That sounds like content, man.
Are you threatening me with a good time? Because I'm in.
Yeah. Remember, it's not gay because it's a whole different gender there, legally.
Not gay because it's TSA.
Well, I still need that shirt. I need that shirt.
I mean, where's that line blur? Because I prepared lube and like a whole lot of other things. There's surprises down there waiting for them.
I mean, I'm going to be 100%.
I don't think they will allow.
I have been frisked and pulled aside for extra screening all the fucking time. Do I look like a terrorist?
No, but you look like a problem.
I look like a problem?
You look like a problem.
Do you guys think it's like my autistic and ready to fuck shirt?
It might be because you're
Probably.
wearing nothing but Ranger panties.
No, that is the comfiest thing to wear on a plane, man. You know, I'm not even kidding. I wear either those or sweatpants on a plane.
You know, it really doesn't help the fact that you're also wearing toe shoes, and we all know everyone that wears toe shoes isn't really human.
Wait, toe shoes? Oh, are you talking about those like ones where it's like the
It
actual
literally has the toes.
Yeah. No, those are disgusting. Those are disgusting. Dude, I put those on the same level as Crocs, and I hate Crocs.
They're so bad.
They're
It's like wearing
so bad.
sandals with your socks on. You know, you got to wedge that sock between the toe.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't Idiocracy like they picked Crocs because they said no one will ever wear these? They look so stupid.
did.
And here
No,
we
it's-
are.
It was because they were so cheap and they look like something really dumb that would be in the future. And because of that show, they became popular.
Yeah.
Oh God, Crocs need to be abolished. You know what? Here's the thing.
Those and Uggs, because like I'm all right. Like you want soft, basically slipper boots, cool. Stop wearing them outside in winter. You're about to have the worst fucking burn on your feet possible. You're gonna have rashes you didn't know you could get. You're giving yourself trench foot.
It's like a boot liner, not a boot.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
They're
those
great
are-
for walking
they're
around the
fashion.
house. Like, I'm not going to take that away from you. Like, you wear those with your pajamas and stuff. Like,
Although-
especially
although
you
I
got to
gotta
walk
say that-
outside and take the dog out or something. But do not go on, like, we're going shopping through the snow today in this.
Yeah, no, they're all horrible and they're all worn by horrible people.
I will say
Usually.
slightly less of a war crime than the Crocs cowboy boots.
Wait, is that a thing?
That is a thing.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're making me Google something.
Yeah,
Crocs.
They're
Crocs
also,
cowboy boots. I'm telling you, you are
They're
heading
also-
towards man-made horrors that are beyond your comprehension.
there are Crocs waders, which just kind of is an oxymoron into itself.
I want to die. What the absolute hell is... You know what? I will at least agree with this because I'm going to... I mean, you know what? If I have to suffer, so does everybody else. Here you go, everybody.
It's a rootin' tootin' bad time.
Great
No.
fucking headline. Crocs cowboy boots are real and they're ridiculous.
That is
Yeah.
a war crime.
That
seems
is
like
an
something that,
absolute
like-
war crime.
It seems like something that, say, like, Kanye would have made.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you're not wrong on that. This does look
Yep.
like, yeah.
That's yep.
No,
Like something he's going
no.
to stick his new wife in for the humiliation ritual to get back at you.
Oh my God. Have you
Speaking of
seen
war
the
crimes-
outfits?
Speaking of
war
war
crimes.
crimes.
Yeah, speaking of war crimes, did you guys hear that chicken wings advertised as boneless can contain bones, according to the Ohio Supreme Court? And so, yeah, I tweeted at them and I said that's a war crime. And a lot of people agreed with me, so I was kind of happy
Wait,
about that.
how does that even...
It
that-
doesn't.
That
It
seems
doesn't
like
make sense. It's a
false
war-
advertising.
That is literally false advertising.
This boneless
Or it's a
wings
war
with the
crime.
bones.
I mean, imagine you buying a boneless chicken wing, biting into it, and cracking your tooth on it.
You know, that is the equivalent of
crime.
somebody handing me a boneless wing and I bite into it and it's actually like cauliflower. Okay, I will burn your house down.
Oh my, you mean those like fake vegan ones that they're like, it tastes like the real thing. And it's like, you just forgot what food tastes like. Stop.
And they always cover it in like the worst sauces too, like the off-brand buffalo sauce where you're just like, this tastes like a sad Hooters evening already, and now it's cauliflower.
Yeah. No, all vegan food should be. As you guys know, I maintain that there should be no law that one is not truly willing to enforce at the barrel of a gun.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Vegan food, Crocs are definitely on that fucking list of things that should be banned. And we should
I bet
throw
there's a
people-
vegan food croc.
Yes, I bet you there is, and all of them need to be thrown. We need to take. If there's one thing we need to take from Russia, it's not communism. No, it's the fucking gulags, and that's where we need to put vegans and crock wearers.
We're just gonna start sending people to gulags in our equivalent of Serbia.
You know, I agree with you, but we need to put cyclists on that list as well. Because
Yep,
shit.
yes,
Yeah.
dude.
Not
Okay,
people,
I tweeted
not
the
people
other
riding
day.
a bike, but the people that are in the full like body condom, like
Yes.
the narrow helmet.
Yes,
The ones that are just in the middle
No,
of the
no.
lane going
They're
less
in
than
the
50
road.
miles an hour.
they're
They
in
take
the
it way
fucking
too
road.
seriously.
No,
Yep.
go in a park or something.
my bike.
Yeah, no, that is not a
It's one
method of
those things where if you're
transportation.
if you're on like a back road or something and like you move out of the way of the car, but you're using the road, makes sense. Okay, I've
No.
done country roads.
No.
No, because
No,
they're kind about it. They
I'm with
move
Demi.
off of the road.
I'm with
They
Demi
move
on
off
that
of
one.
the
No, they
road.
don't pay taxes for the road. They do not deserve to be on it.
To be fair, we don't pay taxes for the road because all the taxes that technically go to infrastructure go in somebody's pocket.
Overseas.
I have privatized roads, thank you. Okay, and they don't like cyclists, so
Just because you'd like to rub your privates on the road does not make them a privatized road.
yes, it does. God,
It's
wait,
the
wow,
weirdest version of a snail trail.
Like I humped it. It's mine.
damn, I
All
humped it. It's
things
mine.
blame is my own.
Well, anyway,
Forget licking it. Just full on.
fucking Christ. Just let us know in the chat if you also agree that vegans should be thrown in gulags, cyclists as well, and people who wear Crocs.
Are you guys familiar with that girl in Australia, Vegan Booty, and all like the shit she does?
No.
Oh,
No,
you
no,
want to go down a
not
rabbit
particularly
hole of
on
like
this
just
porn
vegans
group.
being terrible people? Vegan Booty was like one of the worst of the worst. Like she was so bad, they banned her from coming back to her hometown. Like they were like, if you come back here, we're going to arrest you.
First of all, her name is Vegan Booty. You can't be vegan and have a booty. Like, not in actuality, like you don't have the protein
That's a
for it.
fair point.
I mean, like, how bad do you have to be though, as a vegan leftist, for Australia to ban you? You know, that's like,
Yeah, no,
Or
like,
just as a
that's like
person.
winning the insufferability Olympics.
that's like Bernie Sanders being kicked off of a communist commune for being lazy.
Yeah.
Can a vegan
There.
suck dick?
No, so I actually found that out. So vegans can suck dick. Now, whether or not they can swallow depends on consent. Now, their claim is that because animals haven't consented to being eaten, they're not vegan.
What if I like have my cow like hit yes or no when it's being butchered? Like if it says yes, I can eat it.
I don't know. I like the idea of, you know, forcefully taking its life from it and eating it without its consent.
You know, on that note, though, anyone who spend any time around cows, like my Montana ass has, you know that they are constantly trying to unalive themselves. I mean, that's just the
Every
reality
day.
of having
Like
cows.
it's them and toddlers are on like an even playing field on whether they're trying to kill themselves. Like it is this constant battle.
Oh,
I think care of my
absolutely.
niece and nephew when they were younger was just oh yeah, they're just constantly trying to die.
That's actually a lot of animals, like deer. I think deer are just like they're chaotic and suicidal.
Yeah,
There's-
I've watched a deer jump off the side of I was driving, and I went through a bridge that was like an overpass to a road underneath, and
Yeah.
I've watched a deer seriously just jump over the bridge, and that there's no way that deer survives. So I mean, like,
So-
Are you
yeah,
sure that wasn't a
it makes a lot of
skinwalker?
sense.
Did I ever?
Well,
No, it was
Did
a
it-
deer.
Did I ever tell you the story of when I was explaining to my wife how stupid deer are?
No.
I don't think
No.
so.
So our old house. So we lived by a lake, and if you wanted to go get coffee or go to the shops or anything, you had to drive pretty much down a cliffside, right?
Yeah.
And so I was explaining to her how fucking dumb deer are. And as I explained it, a deer runs out in front of my truck, stops, looks at me, and then hops, hits the fucking the road again, runs a little bit, then you hear a thunk, and it hit the guardrail, flipped forwards, and fell off a cliff. And I stopped in the middle of the road at like 9:30 at night, and I'm like, they're fucking stupid. They are so fucking stupid because it made this distinct metal like pan hitting another
Just
pan.
a ding.
I was just like, they're the dumbest animals on the fucking planet.
The deer's like, you need an example? I got you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was just like Exhibit A. It
Right.
was so bad. Oh
Well,
my
it's,
god.
So like my
that's pretty
dad,
funny,
when he
though.
was still, my dad before he retired, was driving home and it was all back roads, like twisting hill back roads. Had a deer that was running along beside him, looked at him, ran into the car, busted through the back window, and my dad had the front window open while he was driving, bit him on the shoulder, fell out of the car, and dad's going like 60, 70 on back roads because old man driving a truck.
Back roads.
Back roads. Yeah.
Deer got up and started trying to chase him down as if he was the one that caused this.
Okay, guys, so I got to ask you the really important question about this one, though. Who would win here? A Secret Service agent or a cow on a roof?
Cow.
Absolutely the cow.
The cow. No, hands down. We should surround Trump with cows.
Wait. What are they using? Because if it's 556,
He would win the
as we
rule
know, if they got shot by 556, we would have to
wouldn't exist.
identify it through DNA.
DNA.
Shut up. Sometimes my southern peeks out, okay?
And some DNA, man. It's my favorite drink. My papa gives it to me every morning.
You live in Alabama for over 10 years and see what happens to you.
Oh, so I wasn't far off the mark. Oh my God. Well, we do
Just
have
'cause
a
I'm not
lot of
there anymore.
news. We do have a lot of news because I'm going to be 100%. Dalton and I were even talking about this on Sunday. We said it's Sunday and we feel like we've gotten a year's worth of just crap to deal with. And honestly, I don't think that there's a live stream long enough to cover all of it, but we're going to go over quite a bit of it. And Dalton, what's our first story there, bud?
Well, looks like Biden's out, and like we, predicted the last podcast, we predicted that he was basically on his way out, and sure enough, he was. And so now we got Kamala as the presumptive nominee, and so
Very presumptive.
yeah, that's kind of wild.
Yeah.
And I love, one of the headlines from this week was, so Trump basically said, I am not committed to a debate because we don't know if Kamala is going to be the actual nominee yet. The DNC process, the whole vote and all that. I think they're scheduled to have a virtual vote on the first week of August. So until that's kind of solidified, I think he's holding off. And but it was funny because then Kamala's team and her campaign is saying that Trump is too scared to debate Kamala, which is funny because 2 weeks prior, he literally got shot in the face and didn't hesitate. Stood up, defiant as ever, and literally won a whole bunch of people over on that.
Out of the way.
And not only that, but it's their guy gave up and went home crying to mom. The guy that he was supposed to have the debate with threw in the towel. There is no scheduled debate. They need to renegotiate that because what had been negotiated was a debate between Trump and Biden cried for mama and went home, said, I can't do this anymore, which, we all know why, but there you go.
Now, the funniest part about all this is you could easily flip it and say, Kamala, why are you not committed to your prior commitment to debating JD Vance? Because she was committed to that. JD Vance was
she's not the candidate anymore for VP.
Right.
Yeah.
But you could easily flip that around and be like, Kamala, you literally solidified that schedule. You said that you would debate him. And now you're backing out.
But when it's the left, if they didn't have double standards, they'd have none at all.
Exactly. That's actually really accurate. But not only this, so Kamala is the presumptive nominee. They are going to be doing a virtual vote, which they changed the rules to allow it to be virtual rather than at the convention. She apparently called up
against all other past votes and so many different rulings that they had.
Oh, they change the rules all the time, as long as it benefits them.
Back to that double standards thing, but
she now has apparently gotten enough delegates to just be the nominee outright, correct?
The presumptive nominee right now, and if they hold the vote and all the delegates hold, then yes, she becomes the nominee.
Which,
translation, let me show you what's going on here. If we could put this one up full screen.
There
we go. It's just the puppet swap. That's all it is. They're getting rid of one puppet for another.
Yeah. That is actually.
And if you suck that much dick, eventually
You're gonna suck the dick of somebody important.
She really worked her way up to the top, guys.
Yeah, really worked. Yeah, working the streets, working the bars, working the hotels.
I mean,
You know?
it just goes to show, like, Monica Lewinsky was onto something.
You're not wrong. She was ahead of her
shit.
time.
She was ahead of her time.
Oh,
She's
she
not
was
a
ahead of
cocksucker,
something.
She's a piping engineer.
Fuck you for that last comment, Demi.
I mean, and one would think that it wouldn't be that good with teeth that large.
Oh my god. See, that's my big thing for saying, like, people that are like, oh, AOC, I can fix her, and it's like, just what? Because she has tits? First off, she has tits, but she still has the head of a donkey. There's a reason she's like the representation of the modern day Democrat. The reason she's part of the squad and all that bullshit. Which, mind you, wasn't one of the squad members like who proposed reparations of like 17.2 trillion is now trailing 28 points. They're losing everything, and it's like, yeah, good, finally.
Isn't that the one from Seattle, Tlaib?
No, not Rashida Tlaib. It was Corey.
Oh yeah, Corey.
Yeah.
Was it Jamal who pulled the fire alarm and now he lost his primary?
Jamal Bowman pulled the fire alarm and he got primaried, so
he's gone.
I do think that there is kind of an upswelling. Like this election cycle, nothing's going to be able to be predictable because there has been such a shift, and especially like that whole thing with like the Liberty Bell the other day. You know, anyone who was paying attention and saw that, like, I mean, I was so mad. I wanted to go put some of that training the military gave me to use. You know, and it would not have been a tickling competition.
You know, I've been seeing on X a lot of people post about that. And their main argument, especially about burning the American flag, because there are a lot of people on the right, and I will concede this, that are saying, hey, that should be illegal. And I don't believe it should, because that is free speech. But it still is illegal what they did, because that is not their property. That is destruction of public property. That is destruction and vandalism. At that point, if you want to burn your own flag, go fucking buy your own, you commie bastards.
And I mean, legitimately, the Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
So I will say real quick, another aspect to that whole entire thing is they're not just burning the American flag, they're replacing it with Palestine's flag.
Yes.
Which there should be some consequences with replacing the American flag with another country's flag.
That's an insurrection.
In the Capitol.
That is
kind of sounds like it,
an act
right?
of war. That is not figuratively. That is literally an act of war.
That is an act of war. That's what we do. We go to other country. We plant flag. We say this ours now.
Yep. Do you know what happened to all those protesters though?
No, they all got released.
Exactly. Because
you know they assaulted police. You know, but then you have those people that
I was going to say, don't we still have people that are locked up without any trial or bail or anything?
Not just that, we also have people that are currently facing felonies for hate crimes for putting tire marks on gay pride crosswalks.
The ones that didn't even do it on purpose, like they were just turning a corner.
Even those ones, but then there are people who are intentionally just like, you know, revving and fucking, you know, doing a burnout or a donut. Here's the thing. I don't give a fuck. It's freedom of speech, right?
But burning the American flag.
Free speech,
What it is the rainbow flag isn't a gay flag anymore. It has become a political faction.
It is.
And they are a political faction with a lot of power, and they have a lot of prosecutors under their thumb, and that's why they're doing this. And we need to recognize it for what it is, because it's not about, you know, anything to do with homosexuality. Really, that is just a premise to drive anyone who is gay into their power base, like saying, oh, we represent you. This is the gay pride flag. No, it's not. It is now a
the majority of people that are within that group, like just standard homosexuals.
Also, just wanted to point out, it wasn't the Liberty Bell. It was the Freedom Bell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is worse in my opinion.
So Sarah Fields did a really good post on X about it, and I cannot find it for some reason. But she basically talked about it and kind of the significance behind it, the history behind it, and why it meant so much. Mm-hmm. And she did a really good job. For some reason, I can't find it. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough. Tack, if you can find that, I don't know.
If I can find it, I'll look while we continue the conversation. She tweets
I mean,
a lot, though.
wasn't the Freedom Bell the bell that was put in place before the Liberty Bell and the one that everything was signed under?
I actually don't know.
Question. Now, I do know that this bell that they vandalized, I think was a replica, but it was still.
It's absolutely a replica. The original
it was a significant replica, though.
Broken for years.
Yeah.
Well, also, it's priceless. Like,
yes.
You know, it's like it's the same reason that there's like this thick of bulletproof glass in front of the Mona Lisa, and half the time it's not even the real Mona Lisa that's out there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why all those like little fucking like losers in fucking whatever France, whatever, throwing just stop oil fucking losers throwing the soup and shit. It's like, first off, you're still vandalizing it. Yeah, you're still a fucking piece of shit. But at the same time, it did nothing.
I mean, it's not just the fact that it did nothing, it's the act of and like the intent behind it. Your intent was to ruin something that is a national heritage or an international heritage. Because it is something that means something to everyone. Because to be honest, like even the American stuff, like the Freedom Bell, that is something that means something to many countries because our independence led to how many other countries' independence?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Under a tyrannical government.
You know, as much as these people want to like knock the USA for the problems we have, which as a nation we do have problems, I'm not denying that. Excuse me, but
there's not another country in the world that is better.
The
legitimately
of the United States of America has caused more people to be lifted out of poverty and squalor than any other system in the history of the world.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Right.
By the way, I found it, Dalton. Is this the one?
Oh, yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look how good I am.
Yes.
Yep.
Look at you.
Yeah, look at what Sarah Fields. Now, Sarah Fields is awesome. Everybody should be following Sarah Fields. The Liberty Bell replica was gifted by the American Legion, an organization of veterans. They lobby on behalf of veterans and service members. As a veteran myself, not me, Sarah Fields, I cannot imagine the pain they felt watching their symbol of freedom, memories of past wars fought, being destroyed by pro-terrorist protesters. For all the pro-terrorists in my inbox telling me that your message is more important than my Freedom Bell, kindly get fucked. I rarely use harsh language, but I don't even care anymore when it comes to this topic. If you hate this country so much, leave.
That was warranted.
I
for
wholeheartedly
the amount of
agree.
people that we bring over this country as refugees and such, what if everybody that hates America and wants everything to change to be more like somewhere else, we give them a free ticket, with as much luggage as they want to take, whatever they want.
Well,
to literally any other country.
I genuinely think that high schools should, to whatever degree, have push the foreign exchange program.
Oh yeah.
So then, one, we can get people that want to be in America, that they're really interested in our culture and our history over here. And then we could send some of these little fucking losers that have no idea what they're talking about over to another country. And I think we should exclusively do it with North Korea. Just saying, they love communism so much, right? Like that's the perfect place. It's a democracy with, one dude running ever in an election.
These kids getting over there, and the teacher comes in like, computer no have power today. You go work in rice field.
Yeah, pretty fucking much. And it's like, if you say you're tired, okay. You and the rest of your family now die. Congratulations.
Up against the wall.
Pretty fucking much. It's unbelievable.
Remember, there's only 4 haircuts you're allowed to have, and only one of them's right.
That's which is insane. Can you imagine?
Well, it's the illusion of choice.
Illusion
of choice.
Not only that, but all that fucking bullshit, fucking the part of the LGBTQAARP, fucking whatever the acronym is now.
The
alphabet mafia. So the ending part of that, because yes, there are lesbians, yes, there are gays, yes, there are bisexuals, right? Cool. The rest of them, well, actually, all of them over in North Korea would just be killed immediately. They would. But at the same time, that fucking other shit does not fly over there. Nor does it fly in Gaza.
It's like that girl that decided she was going to go travel through the Middle East to show people how peaceful it was, and she gets raped and fucking beheaded. You know, I mean, it's like we couldn't see that one coming from space.
Yeah, it's God, I fucking hate communists.
I just hate dumb people, and communists count there.
That's not real communism.
real communism.
And I mean,
Kinda
that
like
thing flying towards you isn't a real 45. Okay.
Yeah, well, according to leftists, that thing flying towards Trump wasn't a real bullet.
No,
You know?
the FBI.
As a
You
matter
know
of
what?
fact, like,
You know what? They keep saying it's a glass shard, and I really want to know where the glass came from.
They're claiming
putting,
from the
like, this shit
teleprompter.
out there where it's an old photo of him, and they're like, "See, there's nothing wrong with his ear." I mean, what an insidious piece of crap do you have to be to do that?
Yeah,
You
The
know,
Right.
left.
Because there was a video that came out of a whole entire YouTube video of him playing golf with a famous golfer. I can't remember his name.
yeah.
But it was a cool video. I'm not gonna lie. Like if you
They
watch
need to
the
do
whole
more
entire
of them.
video, they do.
Yeah.
It shows a side of Trump that nobody is used to, and it like humanizes him in a way that's just like will reach just the common person. But anyway, they were trying to say, because that was released a couple days ago, that whole entire thing was fake and that his ear is fine. It's like that was shot in the first week of July.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well before the assassination attempt.
Yep.
Yeah.
And everybody's trying to pull up past photos of him, and they're getting community noted like crazy. It's kind of beautiful to watch.
I love, that's the one thing I actually do love about this election is it's the first election we're getting where X is now X and not Twitter, and it's not run by a bunch of communist sociopaths. So we can see the lies and then them getting checked on the lies in real fucking time.
oh, it's like when
You
Axios
see,
tried to call,
it's now
you know,
owned by a sociopath that it just wants to hear everybody bitch.
Yeah.
But like when
Now-
you look at like where Axios, who they're trying to call the non-biased fact checker, came out and tried to say that Kamala was never border czar, and then it
I was just
got
about to go into that.
fact-checked all to death with their own tweets. I mean, it was
Their own article. And
You
also,
know?
wasn't there a House resolution calling her the border czar as well that got replied to it? And it's like, the government literally says she was the border czar.
They literally had a wiki page thing for all these years, and then literally within the last week or so, they removed that entry of her being the border czar, so that they could make the claim in the media that she was never the border czar. And you can
the
in
GovTrack
Wikipedia, I don't know if. There's also the GovTrack page where they said she was she was more left. She was the leftist. What was it? It was like she was the most left-leaning liberal in the entire Senate. And then the GovTrack removed that. And it was just like, well, no, we've got Wayback Machine. We've got screenshots. Nice try. And then the Wikipedia, you can see all the edits that have ever been made on a page. And so you can easily go back in the history and just see like, oh, they removed this specific thing. Calling her the border czar. And it's like, this is the beautiful part of this election. You're exactly right, Tack. We have the ability to fact check these people now as just members of just the people. You know, we have
Did you see what James O'Keefe came out with where he started busting like how Act Blue has like thousands of donations coming through the same addresses and everything?
Yeah.
And
but it's small people that care about small donors, right?
Yeah. And he like did the math, and it was basically like some of these people were having to make that many donations, donate like 3 to 5 times a day. And I mean, it was like, you know, tens of thousands of dollars per person.
And he went to him and his team went to go interview some of these people. They're like, no, I don't have that much money. And like, you could tell these people aren't like made of money, and they're not donating that much money to political causes. Like they're using that money to help, you know, their lives and their life situations and everything. They're not just donating that willy-nilly to a political party. And so it's really weird. And I hope that something
money laundering is really hard to cover up, guys.
Well, that's, you know, being a software guy, I think that's what they're doing is they've got the database of all the people who have donated. And I think that they've got a backdoor in there that they're giving to the mega donors, where the mega donors go in, they do a donation. And what it does basically is runs it as a bunch of small transactions where it assigns it to these customers, but it runs it through a different card or probably, you know, through bank transfer. I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but so it just basically files everything down to these people and hides it. But they got their asses caught because the whoever wrote the algorithm didn't think to maybe make it like where someone doesn't donate 1,000 times. You know, they didn't put any type of limit on it.
Now, I will say the reason why they do small dollar donations and not just rely solely on the super PACs is because
Marketing.
probably, well, debates. You need a certain some of these rules on some of these networks. They require a certain amount of small dollar donations, small dollar donators to like the number and everything. There's a threshold, and in order to get a certain candidate on the debate stage, you have to get that. You have to meet that threshold. So, I mean, if there is a opportunity for somebody the whoever it is, the machine. If they want a certain candidate up there, but they're unpopular,
Bert Kreischer had
they're going to
nothing
push
do
that.
with
Bert Kreischer is the reason Kamala's getting money.
Well, that's
Thanks,
the whole thing
Bert.
too. Like, if you roll back and think about it a little bit further, like everybody who donated to Black Lives Matter, all that money was channeled via Act Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's, this fundraising machine that they have, it needs to be seriously investigated and pulled down because it should not exist as it does. There's just something very wrong
No.
about
They
it.
investigated internally and they found themselves not at fault.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Not a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's funny you bring up Black Lives Matter though, because they were like one of the most prominent groups that came out and basically was like, no, we didn't vote for Kamala. Well, this is not the democratic process. And it's just like, wow, that's a rare BLM win.
Yeah, they actually came out and they were very against this appointed candidate. Undemocratic. I'll give them props where props are due.
Well, Obama also didn't give his go ahead right away either.
Well, no, he said it should be an open primary.
Yeah,
Initially,
and then he turned around and gave the endorsement today. And what that makes me want to ask is, what deal did he get made behind the scenes? Like, what policies is he going to get implemented on his behalf now? What people?
Big Mike said that
he controls is he going to get put into the administration?
I was going to say he just gets 17 different transvestites delivered to him throughout the years.
Well, as we all know, now that the ledger's gone, they're just reopening Epstein's Island, except for it's new for Disney.
Oh God. What
a lot of people don't realize is that while Epstein owned the island and was doing those terrible things there, Disney cruises were stopping at the island and taking kids snorkeling there.
Oh, geez.
Oh, I actually forgot about that.
I didn't even know that.
I did. I did remember
it wasn't
that.
just Disney cruises. It was like all of their subsidiaries too were doing stuff like that.
Yeah, like it was bad things happening out there. And then, like, do you guys ever watch Sheriff Grady Judd does the news conferences on YouTube?
Yeah.
He's down in Florida.
Yeah.
And it's great to watch it because he's in the same district as Disney is down there. So, and he's constantly doing these pedophile stings. And he'll tell them, don't come down to Polk County and try and meet kids. We're going to get you. And when he does these busts, he'll have like this big poster board up there that has like 40, 50, 60 people's mugshots on there that he caught. And then he'll take the worst of the worst and he holds up the big, one and he puts it on the podium and is like, this guy right here, he works for Disney. Why did he want to work for Disney when he was interested in meeting children, And
they also, the guy from Nickelodeon, that whole Drake interview from Drake and Josh that got the guy who molested Drake, not the rapper Drake, the white Drake. Drake Bell, he ended up going to prison for being a pedo, and then once he got out, he was hired by Disney. He was working for Nickelodeon, and then Disney was like, "That's perfectly fine by us." Disney is the most evil company. Do not give them money.
Legitimately, every single musician that has come through Disney in our lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, look at like Britney Spears. She was in the Disney Mickey Mouse Club as a kid, and then she got like handed over to the music industry machine. And like we got like Selena Gomez, girl, why she's so crazy today.
Selena Gomez also Disney. Yeah. I don't follow that part of Disney. Also, give me one moment. I'm going to go use the restroom.
She was in like 2 or 3 Disney.
Miley Cyrus too. I mean, terrible things happened to her.
Yep.
Man, it's been forever since I've watched
Demi Lovato, who's like completely insane now.
Yeah.
Well, most of them are.
I can't
remember some of their names, but it's kind of wild. It kind of seems like Disney's like a funnel, and then like you watch them at a young age, and then like you fast forward 10, 15, 20 years, and it's just like, oh geez. I mean, I think that honestly, the only person that's come out of this fairly unscathed is probably Hillary Duff.
Yeah, and
I mean, when was the last time you?
But I don't really follow.
About...
I was gonna say I don't really follow Hillary Duff, but like,
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like 5 years ago, I heard like, you know, she was starting a family or something, and it's like, oh, okay, well, that's actually kind of the opposite
it's one of those.
A lot of these people.
I mean, it's akin to like the Scientology in movies and TV. It's you do what they say, and you start doing drugs and all types of other things, or else you don't get into the big games.
Yeah,
unless you've got your own backing for things, because there's a couple people that came out of it that have come out and said like, no, there were terrible, awful things happening, that the only reason I wasn't a part of it or was forced into it is because I had dad or I had mom.
Yeah,
because they were part of big movie families.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's kind of a terrible thing. Like, you know, I've spent a lot of time down there in Southern California, and it's just a different kind of people that are down there. I mean, there's a very different moral structure that's down there. And
you see the law they just passed that caused Elon Musk to leave Cali in totality.
Which one is that? I hadn't heard about that.
So the schools, so you send your kid to school there, right? Say the kid starts getting wokeified and pulled into this gender ideology, right? And says, well, I think I'm a girl now, and they're a boy, right?
Yeah.
Well, legally, they would have to tell the parents. So then the parents could be aware. They are no longer doing that.
Oh, well, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
And Trump's saying that Kamala Harris supports that. So,
but you know, that's.
I mean, wasn't there another part of that law that was saying that if the parents disagreed, they could be the children could be taken away from the parents?
I believe there was a proposal. I'm not sure if that was part of the one that passed.
Because I know there was a lot of talk about that when they were like still in the writing phase of that law and a couple others.
Well, also, speaking of just pedophilia, did you guys see the Chris Tyson from Mr. Beast?
Yeah.
Got caught sending some. Now here's the thing. I've seen people say that it was very like sexual jokes, and then I've also seen people like saying that it was like directly hitting on like these kids. You know, in DMs. First off, don't do that. Yeah. But also, I remember seeing. I'm not sure if you guys have ever watched Mr. Beast. There used to be a guy there named Jake the Viking.
Who was.
So Jake
I've
the
watched
Viking
a couple
was
videos, but I don't remember that one.
So it's the older Mr. Beast. He's no longer affiliated, but he wrote Jimmy New, meaning Mr. Beast. Now, Mr. Beast now did end up responding to it. And he has said the following, which I'm just going to share very quickly here. And I'm going to have to zoom, I'm aware. So, he responded to all of it. This took him a couple days as well. Actually, let me just go directly to his X post, because that will make my life that much better. So you guys can just see it without this bullshit fucking article crap.
That's the rumors on X anyways.
Yeah, exactly. So over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's, now this Chris Tyson's behavior online, and I'm disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I've been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Chris from the company, my channel, and any association with Mr. Beast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators and the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation, and will take further actions based on their findings. So you've had a lot of mixed response from this, right? But if you continue going down, I'm not sure if it's still there, but Gays Against Groomers said, we demanded you fire him and remove him from your videos last year when disgusting screenshots were first exposed. He a long time ago, when this was first brought up, he said, he doubled down. He said, I'm tired of the sick transphobic stuff, and it's like, no, people are like exposing him because he's a pedo. Like
Yep. There's that.
Jake,
but then,
this is Jake the Viking. He says, I don't know what I was expecting, but this ain't it. So he is very unhappy, and as I said prior to this, he said, oh, he knew.
You know, it's a tough one on this. Like, you know, I mean, I try and be objective and say, okay, someone who you built your business with makes this life change after you've built the business with them, been around for a long time. You know, you've got a friendship with this person, and you go down that path, and it's a very tough thing. Like, I mean, I've got a couple of friends who've gone down this path of going trans, and they've always been like, you know, really, you know, they've struggled mentally. They've had a lot of problems. You know, it's not something like it was just like, oh, this will be fun. I want to do this. It's like they had this massive internal struggle for years. And like, you don't want to be mean to that person. You don't want to be a piece of shit to that person. And so you do give them some leeway, even if you don't agree or approve of what they're doing. And then,
I mean, on that same note, we're in a world where if you question it at all, you are the bad person.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
There's also the problem of the whole cancel culture thing, like you said there. And so I can see why he wouldn't like immediately try and distance himself there. And I do think that like taking the tack of hiring an independent investigator, you know, a third party to come in and removing him, et cetera, that's all a good thing. So I agree. He has the appearance of doing everything right. The real question that I have is how much did he actually know? And how much of it was like, he's so big, he doesn't think he can fall. So he just ignored it for how long?
Or my real question is, why did it take 48 hours for him to say anything?
Yeah.
You know, when 48 hours, when you really think about it, it's not a lot of time, you know, because like you can imagine, like you've got they've been doing business together for something like 10 years or something like that, 12 years now. They've been bros. So, you know, 48 hours when you get massively let down by someone who you've been tight with for that long, I mean, you've got some processing to do there.
Yep.
And but there's to give Jimmy the benefit of the doubt, you do get a little bit of a blind side with people that you care about, people that you're really close with, because you don't want to see someone who you've let into your inner circle as a monster. And that's one of the problems that people have to deal with in their own families. Like when, you know, Uncle Joe, you know, turns out to be a pedophile, there's people in the family that just won't believe it because he's just such a nice guy. Yep. He's been so good to everybody. They don't want to believe that he did this vile, horrible thing. And
there is that devil's advocate side. But it's also on the same note. Now, Jimmy has also been very fast to reply to most things that are huge that happen in his life.
Yeah.
Even if he just went, I'm looking into this, please give me some time. That should have been what had happened instead of 48 hours of silence.
Yeah.
I will also
for somebody that is honestly like one of the four.
But I will also say that going into, let's just say, the past year, because these allegations, this is just the most recent. And there were many other instances, and he's been hanging out with people who have been convicted of these things, to my knowledge. So it's like, okay, there's a certain point where you just kind of have to just look at it. And for me personally, if I saw screenshots and I was able to just say, let me verify that, and I just verified it, and I was like, okay, these are legit, that person is gone the second.
Yeah, they're penetrating, we're penetrating.
Well, no, we're not. But
sometimes, especially when you're dealing with subject matter like executing pedophiles, you got to have a little fun.
Okay, that yes. But the point being that person's
Dalton,
right?
You're making it really hard for this person to disappear and it not be traced back to any of us.
The way that I see it is the moment that I hear of an allegation, then I'm looking into it and I'm going to just be like, no, cut, because that is a tumor not only in your life but on society. I don't give a shit if I've known you for 20, 30 years. You know.
Here in the chat, random Lombamax 37 just said something that sunken cost fallacy, and that's exactly what it is.
Yep.
You know, it'll cause you to make very bad decisions, and that's exactly spot on. And you know, Jimmy does have a lot to answer for. Why didn't he do anything the first time this came around? Why wasn't this handled beforehand? Why didn't he, investigate then? Because that's, when you have someone who is, outwardly becoming a sexual deviant by transitioning, et cetera, and especially if it's this type of situation where they've abandoned their family to go live another life, et cetera, like massive life changes.
And then dress your son up like a girl with heels.
That too, that's really bad. And so there's a lot of signs there that are kind of in your face. And so he does have to answer for that. He does have to answer, why didn't he see this coming? What happened there? What, because this is someone, from what I understand, which I've never followed his content, so I don't really know there, but to what my understanding is, they were very tight friends for a very long time. And so it makes me wonder what that situation was there. And also, is there perhaps some dirt there? Maybe they had some relations, things like that, behind the scene. We don't know, like what their whole...
I mean, I'm not wanting to lean into that, especially because with Jimmy being the person he is, even making that allegation is atrocious to even think about.
Yeah.
But it could also, as you said, just they were really close friends. And if you're living life through rose-colored glasses, red flags just look like flags to you. Quoting BoJack Horseman here.
Sadly.
I've heard that.
And I'm not saying that, and I'm not, and to be clear, I'm not wanting to make the allegation. I'm saying there's a possibility of what is there. I mean, it's, you're trying to figure out why didn't this happen, and it's wild speculation on my part, and I want to be clear about that. I'm not saying that's what has happened, but when you've been around someone for that long, their bullshit, their background. And so, there could be little things like, oh, we didn't report this to the IRS, that you just don't want that person getting upset and now coming out with, because when you, good friends make for the worst breakups.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And
yes. Now, speaking of other pedophiles or believed pedophiles,
should we have the wood chipper at the ready?
I mean, are we talking about Joe Biden again? Or?
Yeah. Who here caught his speech on him dropping out? His official speech on him dropping out.
He had a speech? Oh, dear Lord.
That's from the speech. They dyed him orange, I want you to understand.
Our achievements in my administration.
No. That absolutely looks like the makeup they put on a corpse when you see it in the coffin.
Yeah. That's
you know
the
what
thing.
this is here? This is like the Biden Skeletor edition,
Yeah, it's
Are they like
really...
Are they sock puppeting a corpse? Like, what is happening?
So so I want to just talk about one of the conspiracy theories. This is once again a conspiracy theory, but there's a an old video and someone took a still of him meeting with Netanyahu, and they were like this far apart in height, and then now they're this far apart in height. So it's like, when did Biden grow 8 inches? Like, what the fuck happened here, right? So a lot of people are claiming it's a body double, first off.
I've actually looked at that, and because I'm a photographer, I mean, I've done photography professionally, so this has been into my cap and trade. What you have to realize, it's actually not that someone else is in there. What it is when you have a long lens, which they're probably shooting with like a 400 millimeter, because where the Secret Service is letting the photographer stand is a long ways away. And so you have a certain force perspective that's happening there.
Yeah,
and like,
it's also, this is at a downward angle on the right. Yeah.
It's twisted. And, also, you don't know that maybe Biden's got like some, what's his face from Florida? The governor,
the boots,
Florida.
the lifted boots, DeSantis.
On DeSantis?
I
love how that's how you had to jog your memory.
No, this is absolutely forced perspective. Like that, that's not an actual different height.
But
I just wanted to address the conspiracy theory.
Because
I've done this with just like wedding photos where they're too far apart in height. You want them to be in the same picture.
Yeah.
Lenses, stuff like that. Yeah.
And I have to do this with my girlfriend because she's 4'11", I'm 6'1". So if I try and take a selfie, she's not in the picture.
Yeah.
you might
that's
see
fair.
like this much of her head.
Well, what's really funny is my wife is actually extraordinarily tall, and I still have to like do the downward, like selfie, because I'm just that much taller than most people. And I'm sure, Dimmy, you have the same fucking problem.
Absolutely.
For anybody who doesn't know, Dimmy is 6'7". I'm 6'5". So no matter what, you're small next to us. Like freaking Renegade here would be relatively small in comparison to both Dimmy and I.
It's like you saw the pictures of one of our mutual friends, us going and spending a day together, and where I am having to like literally bend in half to be in the same photo.
Yeah, that's how it has to happen. So I just want to point out that is a conspiracy theory, and I did preface it with that. But there are a lot of people saying, as you said, that it looks like the makeup they put on a corpse because
I
they believe that
like we hadn't seen him for many days. He had been.
I was gonna say
had been gone for a while. I'm absolutely on that same boat. Like it may be a conspiracy theory of the dude's dead, and this is a really bad body double they're using for this.
You know what
Tack
I think
go for it.
I think it was that, I think when it comes to the whole attempted assassination, I think that they knew it was going to happen. How involved, we don't know. We can get into that later. We'll save that for later. But I think they knew it was going to happen, and they were just like sitting around waiting, like all excited. Because I mean, the debate was a blowout. It was a complete blowout for Trump.
Disaster.
Biden looked terrible. And so, at that point, they knew they had problems. And Biden's sitting here trying to convince everybody that he's still viable, and everybody's calling for him to drop out. And then the assassination attempt happens. And, we get this banger of a photo right here.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it just, that was like just the total chef's kiss to that right there. At that point,
he won the election on that photo.
Oh, he did. He did. He absolutely did. And so
it's going to be in history books for years.
Yeah. It was over for Biden at that point, and they knew it. And I mean, of course, I had to come hard with the memes. Choose your fighter.
Beautiful.
And it's one of those things where I also like this. The meme that came out with this is when he had the resignation letter, which was just on Twitter, not even the official like.
He broke up with America on Twitter.
He broke up with America on Twitter, and then nobody heard from him for a really long time. And I'm just like, wow, he must be really disappointed to learn that he dropped out.
Tech and I were in Discord. Yeah, and we were on Discord one of those nights, and we're like, I was reading reports. I'm like, dude, I think he's dead.
Yeah, we actually had an hour or two long conversation going over.
I go, dude, we might wake up in the morning and we might have a brand new president. Like, we don't know.
At the time, I thought the same thing, but since then, my opinion has shifted. I think what it was is after that, fist up photo and watching the groundswell of support and everything that came for Trump, I think Biden himself knew it was over. And I think that he just emotionally collapsed. Like he knew his presidency, his legacy, everything that he had worked for his entire life, because he's run for president so many times. And he knows that his administration deep down inside has not been successful. And he was hoping that his next term would be where he gets to kind of set it all right and get to show everybody that he's capable of doing a really good job. Because right now he's like the little Dutch boy trying to plug the dam and trying to make it look like everything that he screwed up the last 4 years wasn't so badly screwed up, as it was, that pooch isn't still laying in the driveway, screaming and crying from the screwing he gave it. And
I mean, it's the same thing that almost every president except for Trump has done.
Yeah.
It's they do something really good, kind of like that first year, fuck everything up, in that last 6 months they're really trying hard to make it look like they didn't do what they did for the past 2.5 years.
And so I think that's what it was, though. He knew it was over and he just couldn't make an appearance. It was like Hillary Clinton the night she lost to Trump. Like she didn't come out and concede. Like no one heard from her for like a couple of days. And when she did come out, it wasn't a concession, it was being a cunt.
Yeah, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in the room where she found out where she lost. I would have loved to have been that.
So no. If you had done that, we would have found you with your suicide note with 3 bullet holes in the back of your head. Bud.
Yeah,
right.
Like about 50 plus of their acquaintances.
So can you imagine being able to witness Hillary like that? The profound sense of palpable Schadenfreude that one would experience watching her melt down like that.
So you're not of the belief, because here's the thing: I'm still of the belief that he did probably have some sort of medical emergency.
Oh, probably.
Absolutely.
And I think that there was a point of recovery time.
It's called Alzheimer's.
There's that. I think he honestly, I genuinely think that he might have had like another minor stroke.
Yeah.
Well, because he's had many before.
Wouldn't have been the first.
No. That's
might have been brought on from the stress of knowing that he was done.
That's true.
Watching what's coming there,
100%.
Imagine the amount of stress of knowing that your legacy
being surrounded by literally everybody that had been 4 years straight up lying to his face that you're on top, etc. immediately going, "You need to step down."
I mean, this was his family at the Oval Office during his Oval Office speech. And I mean, look at them. They're, I mean, you got Hunter Biden
This
over
is
here.
a
He
funeral
looks like
picture right here.
this is a funeral picture. I mean, look at them. They're
Yeah.
all very depressed. I mean, Hunter Biden is like, his eyes are locked on, making sure.
Well, Hunter's
that
just
he does
that he can't
not
buy
say
children
something
anymore.
wrong.
Well, Hunter's sad that he doesn't get like, off scot-free with cocaine.
Right.
Yes, cocaine's what we're
He knows
talking
it's
about.
done for him. Yeah.
Crack.
Well,
And,
I guarantee his last day in office, Joe's going to spit out a pardon for everything that Hunter's done.
Oh, well, guarantee.
Yeah,
He has
how
nothing
can
to
you
lose
not?
now.
I mean,
It'll be the
Right.
parting gift.
Yeah.
yep.
Although I'm sure Hunter's
And-
worried that he's going to, imagine his dad dying before he gets the pardon. What a disappointment that's going to be.
But I mean, I was telling Tack, I think their whole entire plan is to have Biden in office for as long as possible, even if it means he dies in office. I mean, that he goes down in history as a president that dies in office.
Yeah.
Guys,
I mean,
old age in office.
now there's another conspiracy theory that Pelosi and Kamala they basically threatened him with the 25th Amendment to drop out, or else they would have enacted it. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, which, mind you, isn't there technically there's like a House oversight impeachment over that, right? That they're like saying that is the improper use. It's either you're going to use it because they are unfit, but you can't use it as a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it is. I know there was a representative that brought forth impeachment papers on Kamala Harris over, I think, this and the border stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think that, yeah.
So let me ask you
I don't
this the
believe
face of a
this
guy
in-
who's being held hostage.
Absolutely.
I mean,
actually,
yeah,
it's the face of
certainly-
somebody that's got somebody like shoulder deep inside of them using their mouth.
Yeah,
Like, look at his jaw; it doesn't even line up.
like, is there
That's
a
the
shotgun
stroke.
behind the chair we can't see or something?
Well, no, I want to point that out.
Pay no attention to the man
past
underneath the desk.
In the past 2 times that he has given an address to the American people, one when during after Trump's assassination attempt, and this one, neither one. When you are giving an address, there is a teleprompter and there's a camera inside the teleprompter, and you talk to it and you say, "The American people, blah blah blah." He's been doing this. American people off to the side. First off, I don't think he knows where the fuck he is. Second off, I don't think he'd realize if somebody was holding him hostage. I think he would literally think it's like the ice cream man. I think he's that far gone mentally. I genuinely think that he's just parroting anything he's been told.
I wonder if they're having to use a bigger screen with bigger font because the teleprompter.
That's what I thought. That's what my thought was.
I was
that
about
it
to
was
say
like
that.
a much bigger. Yeah,
You can see that actually in the
Oh my
last
God.
in the
It is
last
the
Oval
ice cream
Office
man.
address.
This is all. This isn't deep state. It is actually deep dairy that's behind
The
everything.
ice cream man is the deep state, Demi.
Well, what day did he
it's
drop
deep
out?
dairy.
What day did
National
he
Ice
drop
Cream
out?
Day. He
National
dropped
Ice
out on
Cream Day.
National Ice Cream Day. Now, the funny thing is, in the last Oval Office address he gave a couple days ago, you can actually see there's a part of the window in the back where you can actually see the big font scrolling past, and he's reading like line for line, like on the screen itself. So it's like he reads a line, and then you can see how fast it goes in the next line, and then you can see how fast. Like, it's kind of wild because he's reading the teleprompter in a huge font. Like, it's pretty bad.
Well, did you see the breakdown that shows that it's not live?
Yeah, because the watch is at the wrong
watch
time.
is the wrong time. He went live at what, 8?
So I've seen a couple of things where it was showing the watch that was the wrong time, and then I saw another thing where it showed the watch and it was the correct time. So
Okay,
I don't know.
So
Now,
somebody
I will
might
say
have changed
this.
that. Okay.
I will say this: right after the Oval Office address, he did walk out to the Rose Garden, and they had like a little party or whatever out there. And so there was people already out there waiting for him. They had a little big screen, like temporary big screen out there, so that everybody out there could watch it. But I mean, it does seem like it might have been in real time. I don't know. I mean, just basing off the look in Hunter Biden's eyes, looking at his father giving this address, it kind of seemed like, I mean, if you remember, he was at a Medal of Honor ceremony like a couple weeks ago, and Hunter Biden was there, and he was watching his father. Like, Like his eyes were locked on his dad. Like, don't mess up. If you mess up, I'm going to have to do something. You know, it was kind of like one of those things. It's just like, it's a really weird situation that he's in. And then Hunter Biden also, it seems like he's like part of the inner circle now. Like he's getting classified intel and stuff.
Yeah, it's so great. You know, I thought that felons don't belong near that stuff or something, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like you have to go through a lot of different things in order to get clearance for that kind of classified material. And that dude has not gone through anything.
I mean, if you provide that many people the drugs, illicit materials, people, you just kind of get whatever you want, it seems.
You know, maybe he's their resident expert on the cartels.
He's probably got them all on speed dial.
He probably does.
Yeah. I would not doubt that at all, actually. I genuinely wouldn't. But it just proves their hypocrisy, right?
Yeah.
Because you see these Kamala ads saying it's prosecutor versus convicted felon, and it's just like, the ACAB crew really wants a cop or at least somebody affiliated, with the prosecution of, people for drug offenses as a president. Really? The ACAB people?
So real quick.
God, please tell me we're not going to hawk to a girl.
No, I'm just going to point this out real quick. Apparently, Elon Musk is following Hawk to a girl on Twitter. That's weird, right?
I mean, he might knock her up, dude. The man has like a fucking record of just being able to.
We all know that he's just insane. Like,
in the best way. Arc, like he knocks her up and like brings her over to the conservative side.
Gets her to hawk to him. Hawk to her for freedom.
To go back to what Renegade was saying, I will say this is really funny. This is a really funny timeline that we're living in. So basically, you have Kamala Harris, who is the prosecutor, and the Democrat Party is the party of defund the police, right? And then so you have a prosecutor as their hero, basically the person that they're wanting as president. The defund the police crowd is wanting the prosecutor as president. And then on the flip side, you have the conservatives who is back to blue, and they want the convicted felon as their president.
I'm gonna put
it's
felon,
kind of funny timeline.
I'm gonna put convicted and felon in quotation marks there.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. When you have to change the law and like change 5 separate laws, including statute of limitation laws, and also tell a jury that they don't need to unanimously agree on the primary crime, that would have been secondary crime too. I'm sorry. Yeah.
You lose me there.
Yeah.
But no, I just find it funny. That's where we are
correct.
Right
it's all because they killed my boy Harambe.
Yeah. How do they think this is?
It is Harambe's fault.
How
do you think?
Once again, we need to find the dad that dropped their kid in this place and just beat him up, like bully them. Something. Is it mom?
I thought it was the mom.
I think it was the dad
mom too. Would you say Renegade? I'm sorry.
I said, how do you think this whole the cop versus the felon thing's going to play out in the hood?
Well, oddly enough, there have been I know that not everybody here is on TikTok. I am. On TikTok, you have a lot of people that are like, inner city, definitely, part of like kind of the more, let's just call it the gangsta community, right? And they flat out said like, no, that's my man. I love Trump. And they're like destroying Kamala. They're destroying Biden. And they're like, nah, Trump's my boy. And I'm like, maybe there is a shift. I don't know.
Dude, I've seen videos of these people who are like, they're all agreeing that Trump is their guy. And it's just like, okay, cool. And then you got, black people who are like, dude took a bullet. He's the most gangster of them all. And it's just like, you're not wrong, I guess.
Did you see the I forget, was it Newsweek? I think it was Newsweek ran a poll and it says Kamala is now winning by this many points or whatever. It had 100 people. The poll asked 100 people.
I do want to point out Newsweek had like several every day this week. They had basically the worst article out, and it was just like Newsweek is like shit week this week. It's like every article they've put out this week has been complete shit.
Yeah,
like they had one where
you don't hate them clearly.
They had
enough.
Well, exactly, and they had one that you were just talking about, Tack, and then they had another one where they were like, well, Trump wasn't really hit by a bullet. It was mainly glass or fragment, and it was just like, come on. We saw the whole entire world saw on
almost
camera
live. The bullet
Yeah.
passed his head.
Yeah.
We saw that on a camera. Like, it's indisputable. We saw that literally in a frame on a from a camera from a
There's actually
photographer.
a video taken from the stands behind him that shows the bullet hit his ear.
So I think that was fake. I think that one was fake, unfortunately.
There's one out there where they were filming, and it just shows as he ducks. It's
Okay.
like it's not it's not a slow motion or anything. It just shows the splatter on his face and as he ducks. I've seen that. I should have saved it, but there's been so much that's come out over.
Well, I thought you were talking about the one where they actually show it piercing his ear, and that one is fake.
Well, I would just also like to point this out really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So FBI has officially confirmed it was a bullet, everybody. No, a 5.56 is not going to blow your ear off or rip the skin off your face or concuss your skull or any of that shit. First off, your ear has nowhere near enough mass to cause cavitation.
Exactly.
It's not enough to stop it and have that bullet expand. It's going to go through like fucking tissue paper. So anybody who still believes that fucking bullshit is exactly the reason that there are so many stupid people calling for gun control, because they're all the same morons.
As we know, an AR weighs as many as any heavy box that you may be carrying.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here we go. Yep.
So shout out to Brandon Herrera and all the great work that dude does.
Brandon, we will not remove your watermark, unlike a certain fucking asshole on X.
Well, to be fair, this one doesn't have the watermark because I went directly to the video. But
yeah,
if
just
you're not
keep
subscribed
his
to
page
Brandon
up.
Herrera, go subscribe to Brandon Herrera right now.
You might have heard
Brandon's
of
a
him.
good guy. You should subscribe to Brandon.
He's an amazing person.
Real quick,
should have won that vote.
Yeah.
Oh, God, dude, like, do not, dude. Let that one go gracefully. I'm still mad about that. Like, I'm still like.
Yeah, I know. We all
for
are.
those of you who are watching who don't know, I served in the Navy with Tony Gonzalez, and I was voting Brandon the whole way.
Mm-hmm.
That probably made you vote.
All right, so Brandon recreated the shot. So if you guys haven't seen this, we're gonna play it real quick. Sorry for the people who are just audio only. Just bear with us.
His neck's not broken. I don't.
Where do you get the glass to
I'm taking.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, they already did it. Hold on.
Did I see a jiggle?
Did you? Oh, I barely clipped the ear. I clipped it right on the side, not on the top. I clipped him like right there in the middle.
We're gonna have to look for like a vibration.
Oh, yep, there it was.
Yep, and Ballistic High Speed. They deserve a lot of love too. Those guys are great. Oh my God, it's almost like the ear doesn't just explode.
Oh yeah, there you go. Whoa. Damn.
That was like edge of the bullet.
Yeah, I know. That was. I think we could get closer. Yeah, so I think he actually got.
He does get a closer shot on it.
The bullet.
He does. He gets a great shot.
You can see where it just.
I think he gets an exact shot where it was. Correct?
Oh, we're gonna like damn near, like
yeah,
within millimeters.
The whole head is still there.
That's kind of crazy. I thought it would have disappeared. Firing. Oh yeah, I think
that's it.
Oh yeah, that was the fucking money shot right there.
That's a perfect sim there.
How's his head still connected?
I don't know. This
We
is
can't
crazy.
figure it
I don't
out.
think a bullet actually hit him.
Like his neck's not broken. I don't.
Where do you get the glass to
I'm taking ballistic
I
out of
don't
my
know.
name because I clearly don't understand them.
Oh, that was fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Piercing. Yo, dude, that's wild. What'd they say? Don't get your ears pierced at Claire's.
Look at that shot. Look at that shot.
Yep.
And that right there is probably about as realistic as you're going to get. Although ballistic gel
When Trump said it felt like
is
he got
not
flashed,
as
you could see the
strong as
vibration. It'd
skin.
feel like someone kind of slapped you on
Well,
the
not
head.
only
I'm
that,
just
but
gonna
also
say,
it
I'm
doesn't
actually
do the
personally
best job of replicating cartilage.
Right.
Temporary
Yeah.
expansion.
But
But notice
honestly,
But it does show. It does prove that it
cartilage would
won't
sit there and
blow
it
your
would-
head.
whereas the ballistic gel would have had a larger damage area
Yeah,
than
Well,
actually
I
skin
think
and
the-
cartilage.
it's
To
going
put
to
it out there,
expand
though, I
more.
think the bigger problem we have here is so many of these people, their only knowledge of firearms comes from what they see in these Hollywood movies, where like
Yes.
someone will take a gun and shoot something and it blows up, and they think that's how it works. You know, like you shoot
Or-
the
or
gas tank of the
The
car,
John
and it
Wick, where
blows
they're
up.
in the train station doing the silenced, like no one's hearing the bullets.
Yeah.
Oh,
It just,
Anybody that's been around a
suppressed.
suppressor not a silencer because silencers don't exist. They're still fucking loud.
Yeah, subsonic ammo, lowers
it honestly
more.
just lowers the echo.
It lowers it a bit.
And it does change the pitch too.
It does change the pitch. Yeah.
It does not make it.
But it's still one of those where
silent.
You will go, did somebody just get shot?
Yeah. Like in the Trump shooting, I mean, you can clearly hear a suppressed shot from the Secret Service. It was the last shot. I think it was like 16 seconds later or whatever from the first shot, but you could still clearly I can't speak
audibly.
Today. It's Friday. Yes, thank you. That's the word.
Yeah,
I can say it. I promise. I'm not drunk. I promise. I'm not slurring my words right now.
Beer 30 here.
Nope, I'm drinking Blue Moon. I swear I'm not drunk. No, but I'm just saying, like,
with a Blue Moon.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's my point. No, but what I was saying was you can clearly hear it. It's not like silent or anything. It's just suppressed. Like you can hear a shot. It's just not as loud as if you didn't have the suppressor on it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I would also like to point this out. This is a great comment. Ball gags are suppressors, not silencers. That's the GIMP hood.
Even the GIMP hood, you can still hear the underneath it. Okay, so it's not a silencer.
Yep. And if you're in the UK, you can terrorize people at night. Sorry,
I just
watched
this
Angela
comment real quick. Hashtag Dalton Lightweight. I haven't had a beer in 2 years, other than since I've started doing this podcast with Tack. Like so,
That's
like I've had 7 beers. I've had 7 beers in the last 2 years. So
are you sure you aren't drunk?
I'm starting to think you might be. I'm starting to really
believe
this lightweight.
I
I don't think that matters with you, buddy.
I should have ignored that comment.
By the way, speaking of bullying, I want everybody in the chat and in the Discord to start bullying Dimmy into getting on X.
What's really going to be entertaining watching them try to bully me into it when I don't have social media.
Yeah, well, yeah, you should hop on it, buddy. We need you.
Spam the chat.
Send them to have the Amish deliver you a letter.
Oh my God.
It's actually word to mouth. Eventually somebody shows up at my door and I just get like the weirdest message ever.
Well, speaking of, things that are going to send us back in time to when we would need to do shit like that. What about CrowdStrike? So if you didn't hear,
Dev responsible for that shit show.
Oh my God, no, it gets worse, and I'm going to tell you why. Worse. So the CrowdStrike, for anybody who doesn't know, is this bullshit company that like pretty much every Fortune 5 used. Correct? It was 8.2 some odd million Windows machines ran this bullshit. They pushed out an update that it ran to a null, right? So it pretty much just tried to read something that wasn't there and then forced itself to shut down. And it was like, hey, we don't know what to do. It stopped airliners. It stopped stock trading. It stopped hospitals. It stopped my wife's office. It stopped everything, right? Now, this caused, obviously, I would actually estimate more than billions. I would say probably overall way more than hundreds of billions of dollars at least in economic loss. And CrowdStrike has responded by offering their partners, not the people affected, their partners a $10 Uber Eats gift card so they can get a cup of coffee. Literally their actual
great customer service.
Yeah, no, CrowdStrike, you should be ashamed of yourselves, and I really hope that this stops their monopolization. Because they're like the only company that handles that bullshit, right? Wait, Demi has to fist fight me, and if I
the thing is, both of us have a ridiculously high pain tolerance.
Mine's higher. I have sips.
I know. I knew yours is higher, but it wouldn't come down to that. It would come down to both of us just getting lazy
or having sex. One of the two.
Oh, that was happening anyway.
Oh, okay, cool. It's just violent sex. My favorite. But I just want...
Speaking of CrowdStrike...
Oh, I thought you were going to say speaking of violent sex.
Speaking of violence, next.
Renegade's like, I crashed. I'm no longer involved in this conversation.
CrowdStrike again.
Well played. I was gonna say, speaking of CrowdStrike, did you guys hear about Southwest Airlines?
Oh, that they're running on Windows 3.1, so it did not affect them.
Well, that and
their funny tweet. They had the funny.
Yeah, the greatest.
They had
the greatest tweet.
They, especially given the previous, shit that they've had to go through. No, the funniest thing was, I think it was this morning. I was driving to work and I was listening to either CNN or Fox News. I switched between the two on my SXM. I'm not drunk, I promise.
I don't believe you.
Dude, I still have like this much of my beer left, and I've only drank
nothing
one
to
before
me.
this.
Lightweight.
I'm not a lightweight though. Anyway, did you guys hear that Southwest is getting rid of the free for all seats?
No.
Yep, they're getting rid of that. It's now going to be assigned seating.
I mean, I replied to this comment in there, but I'm geeky enough for us. I'll allow it.
Yeah, Southwest. I mean, it's kind of wild.
What a group we have here today.
Well, can I be 100%? I have never been on a Southwest flight in my entire life.
Neither did I until I had to do some stuff for work, and they flew us out to Texas and Wisconsin, and we fly Southwest. That was the first time. That was the first time I flew Southwest.
I have. I think so. My frequent flyer miles are through American and United, so I have both of them.
Usually I fly American.
United is awful.
American and Delta, and then I've actually have more airtime on privately flying. But
you're gonna throw that one in at us, huh?
I have been on private jets a couple of times.
I live in a country town, or grew up in a country town. I learned how to fly single prop airplanes.
Oh, okay. I was talking about a Learjet. I've been on Learjets a couple of times.
I mean, so have I, but that's another thing entirely. I didn't fly them.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that was also another thing for me. I did other things.
Single prop airplanes. I'd have a lot of fly hours on that. I need to go
fair.
Back and redo that. Like,
I actually started flying single engines off a gravel strip in Montana when I was about 8 years old. And man, once you get to where you could fly yourself, and then you have
it's amazing.
Take a commercial flight, you're like, this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah, all the bullshit where it's like, especially at private country, like if it's on a gravel fucking runway, where it's just like you talk to one dude where you're just like, I'm gonna go take a flight. All right, did you fill out the log, which is a piece of paper that you use a pencil to fill in?
I have been so my big thing also is the reason that a lot of the miles are with United is because they do direct flights from me to Aruba, and that is my wife and I's favorite place to go is Aruba. And just pointing that out. A fucking Gazelle, I swear to God, I'm gonna fist fight you. I swear.
No, he's used to that G6. He just really likes that song.
No. Soul Gazelle is trying to Brandon Herrera me by labeling me a veteran when I'm not a veteran.
Wait,
we have a veteran here. His name is Renegade. Yes.
And as Renegade can tell us,
legal name.
Tack has 3 purple hearts.
Oh, fuck your entire mouth. Fuck your nostril.
I thought you were going to do that anyway.
I hope that the next time that you think it's a fart, it's a shart.
This Thursday's
the worst thing there are worse things to wish upon people, but I mean, that's pretty bad.
That is pretty bad.
That sucks.
That's a bad
that
one.
sounds like I get to go home.
I did myself.
Guys.
Jesus fucking Christ.
You work with enough blue collar country people that you just go, yeah, I just shit myself. You're going home and nobody's going to dock you points or anything.
Fair.
That is a solid excuse.
In fact, they may let you stay on and clock you out later when you're supposed to get off shift for you.
I know a lot of people that have coworkers that'll do that shit for them. It's insane. It's awesome though.
Oh, thank you, Shell, for recognizing our service members. We should all like say thank you for your service. Renegade,
Thank you, Tack.
and Tack.
Oh God, fuck. I hope all of you stub your toes, and I hope that you all like shit yourselves right when you're on your first date. Like,
I want to point out that your chat is doing a better job branding Herrera than Tony Gonzalez Brandon Herrera.
God damn it. Well, of course, because they're actually autistic. He's just retarded.
Yeah, he is. He is still.
I still love the fact that if you type in Brandon Herrera veteran ? It comes up with like hundreds of posts and pictures. It's like,
Yes.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Oh, speaking of stolen valor, actually, we can dive into this one here. Have you guys followed Stolen Valor on X?
Yes. Yes, I
And
have.
this whole
I
thing
talked
going
about
on in
that.
Arizona right now. You got two people in two different races. One of them is Steve Slayton, who's claiming to be a Vietnam helicopter combat pilot, as in he has his combat badges, everything else, is wearing the pins, claiming to do it, never did it. Stolen Valor has, basically gone in there. And like the dude runs a Trump store. So it's like a really sticky situation, and it's total BS. And they need to just the Republican Party needs to gank this guy. Pull him out, because like it is a terrible look having this guy running. And then there's another guy, I think he's like the mayor of Mesa or Tempe or something. I don't remember which city it is, so don't quote me for sure on that. But this guy also got busted calling himself a veteran when it turns out that he got discharged during boot camp with a reenlistment code that stated that he could not reenlist.
Oof.
Big
And he's
fuck
calling
up
himself
so
a veteran,
bad.
and that's a big no-no, because
When you fuck up
generally-
so bad at boot camp, you get told you can't come back.
Right. Well, if you get kicked out in boot camp, other than like if it was a medical reason where you got in like a bad accident,
Yeah.
you don't get any type of veterans, care
No.
or anything. You don't get any type of veteran status, because you actually have to serve a period of time. I think it's longer than 180 days, which is 6 months. And then on top of that, you have to, there's a couple of things you have to complete, which is your basic training, because you can't be on a hold status for like anything.
By the way, I put up the post about both Steve Slayton and also Wendy Rogers. I'm going to go use the restroom, but feel free to discuss.
These are so
How
yeah.
small
correct
is
me
your
if I'm
bladder
wrong.
tonight, bud?
So correct me if I'm wrong.
Last time.
Oh,
Did you just go and
That's kinda
stare at the
weird.
toilet and cry?
did you like pee halfway and then was like, I'm gonna call it good now, and then just like, all right.
You can do
'Cause
that.
that's
You
weird.
have that power?
That's not a power. I swear to God, that's not a power. It takes a
Just to
lot of.
stop
I don't even
halfway?
know. It's not a power.
I
I've
know
never
if you're in the
utilized that
military and you
power.
get drunk enough, I guarantee you're going to learn how to write your name on a wall.
I mean,
So
I wasn't in the
So
military
Renegade.
and I know how to do that. That's called living in the country.
So correct me if I'm wrong. So this is one race where two people are claiming to be veterans that they're really not, or at least have that. They're stolen valor basically.
It's Steve
race.
Slayton is the one who
Again.
is claiming, and then it's
Is it-
another
is it
guy
Steve-
in another race.
Okay.
Both of them
Gotcha,
in Arizona,
okay.
though. Like Arizona's
God, I was
having a
gonna say-
really bad stolen valor problem right now.
Well, I was gonna say if it's the same race and both candidates are claiming, stolen valor more or less, it's like that's even worse. I feel like, but if it's, if
That goes
they're
from
still
being fucked up to
primaries.
hilarious. If they're in the same
they're
race.
still in the primary, so hopefully, hopefully they can get primaried out.
Yeah, that'd be really good. Which I suspect they will, seeing as how it is still a
Yeah.
primary. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
bad juju, and these guys are running as Republicans. That's the part that really gets me. Like, I think if you're
Yeah.
running a Republican, running with stolen valor is probably not the best idea.
Not a good look. Yeah.
We're really not into like the Swift boat guys.
Yeah, well, when you run for an election, things are going to come up, whether things that you expect them to come
Yeah.
up or you don't. They're going to come up. So, like, if you claim that you serve and you really didn't, or you served a certain way and you really didn't, it's going to come up. People are going to dig. People love to dig, and so yeah. That blows
Now
my
Jesse
mind,
Bear,
which is
Jesse Bear,
wild.
you got it wrong. He wasn't a decorated airborne green special force SEAL force. He was a space shuttle door gunner. Come on now. Come on.
Come on, guys. He was the window guy on the submarine. All right.
Where's Jessie Bear? I'm renaming her in the goddamn Discord.
Dude, when you screw up so bad, you get renamed in the Discord. You know you screwed up. I've been renamed so many times in the Discord.
I mean, to be fair, at the same
Enjoy.
At the same time, that means you need to rename Shell again.
I rename Shell all the time. She always ends up as like Dommy Mommy or Mama Bear. I don't know how I'm guessing she just changes it back.
She probably does. She's got that.
I did change.
Power.
Jessie Bear's name is now I sniff my own queefs. So enjoy.
Impressive. That is an impressive feat.
She's flexible. She can shove her whole head up inside there. Yeah. God,
must be a
fucking
Democrat.
damn it.
The names that you have for your community in here is just, it's wild.
What do you mean? They're beautiful.
Wildly beautiful.
What is so bad? Like Lombax is token gay Lombax, right? We have the god of thumbs and nut. What else we got that's weird? Like, come on. We got Sergeant Potato with bacon.
Okay,
I just added with bacon to it.
I think we're at the part of the podcast where we're probably 25% into the insanity. So I'm just going to add that 25% up there.
Oh, you added a percentage mark. Finally.
Yep.
There we go.
That's how drunk he is right now.
Well, whatever.
So he's the fluffer for the Air Force command staff. Oh, boy. Actually, I think they have civilian contractors for that, though. I mean, it is the Air Force.
What's really funny about that statement is I had a fluffer, and I'm still friends with my fluffer.
There you go.
God damn it. Fuck you all. I changed Nighthawk's names to Nighthawk Tua.
Now you're just cheating on me.
How am I cheating on you? I'm a whore. You know this. You knew this.
What?
I'm not two-timing. You knew of this.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna go write in my dream journal.
Please do. Tell me if God answers your prayers tonight.
Soul Gazelle shooting to be the minister of disinformation there.
What is Soul Gazelle's name in Discord? What is Soul Gazelle's actual name in Discord? Because I gotta find them and fucking change it.
That's the problem. See, that's the problem, Tack, with you changing everybody's name is I never know who is who anymore. And
no.
When you try to go find the person.
If you at them, you can still like at their name.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. Their name's not actually Soul Gazelle in the Discord. So
okay,
yeah. God, I'm the first recipient of the Space Force's Medal of Lunar Excellence. Oh my fucking God! Seriously, be original. If you're gonna meme me, come up with something original, you fucktards. You're like, come on. God damn it. Dalton, what other news do we have to go over? I want to get off this topic now.
The Secret Service director resigned.
Wants to get off.
Finally.
He's tired of being
Cheadle. Yep, director.
What a
Cheadle.
name.
What a name. It's like cheat and then ol at the end, so it's Cheadle. So it's like, all right, so you are a director of cheating.
Yeah, well,
since we're going down the Secret Service path there, do you guys want to do what we wanted to do last week when I couldn't get my webcam to work and like go through from a military man's perspective?
Go for it.
Looking at why this. Okay, let's go to Google Earth here. Oh, and so I get this popped up on screen. And so looking at this, we're looking at where Trump held the rally in Pennsylvania here, right? Stage, all that. You can see President Trump down here. You can see the victims. You can see the sniper teams. And then where the little
can you zoom in?
Got up there. Yeah, we can zoom in a little more. So you can see what we're looking at here, what the ground situation looked like. You can see how the bullets were fired. From where I estimate he was on the roof to where President Trump was, it's right at about 150 yards. And so making that shot at 150 yards to get into that position that he was in, like it's really egregious because you have this whole business center right here that is set up as it is. And the question that I'm asking right from the get-go is why didn't they just close this whole property off and not let anybody in there? Like down this side of the building here where all the trees were, they just let people walk up in there along the side and hang out there outside the fence. And they didn't make any attempt to stop it. And so there was no security screening. And like, that's really close to the stage. I mean, even if somebody gotten in the tree over here, and in that line right there and wanted to do something bad. Like there wasn't really anything stopping them. You really didn't need to get on the roof. So from a tactical standpoint, they could have very easily put a couple of cop cars out here at each of these driveways. You got these 3 driveways. And it would have been very easy to tell people, no, you can't go in there. If you had to, maybe put up a little bit of tape. But they could have had a direct line of sight looking down each of these and kept anybody off of that property with either 2 or 3 cop cars with a cop in each of them. They wouldn't have had to have done much there. And they would have had this area pretty locked down. They should have had the snipers on the roof like they, but we've been through that where it was like, oh, we were worried about their safety and all that crap. And then, you guys came out with the one.
The slope.
I mean, when you have to lie after the fact, okay, sometimes you're not very good at it.
Absolutely. And so the question I ask is what you really want to look at, and what really gets me questioning is when you look at where the Secret Service sniper teams was, Team B and Team A here, and you look at the angle that they had to shoot at to get the guy, they had to shoot through this tree here. And so what that means is that when this guy climbed up on the roof and came up across the top of that roof, he knew exactly where to go to stay out of their line of sight. He had it that dialed down. He knew that much about the angle to get where he needed to be on the back side of that roof to, obfuscate his existence so he could sit there and take a clear shot at the president. Now, we know that before the fact that they had seen this guy out walking around and they were already looking for him, trying to figure out where he was and what he went. There was already supposed to be a sniper team, I guess, up in one of these windows on the taller building here who should have seen the dude on the roof and shot him, and I guess one of those guys got sent home early for whatever reason. Why, I don't know, but that's kind of silly if you ask me. But they didn't have any control over this building that had all kinds of places. I mean, the rooms in there, for one, are a huge security risk because someone who actually knows sniping very well that could get inside of that building and set up where they're back inside the room a little ways where they can't be seen, that's someone you'd have to worry a lot more about when they know what they're doing to be able to take that shot. And so that's my confusion. And then the other question that I'm asking is, you've got this water tower back here, and it's obviously a county water tower, so they don't have to ask anyone to get access to it. Why was there not a counter sniper team up on that water tower? When you spin this thing around, you have a beautiful view of all of those rooftops. You would have been able to see all this going on out there. You also would have been able to see the stage. You'd have been able to see the crowd that's out there. Why did they not have anybody up there? So it's very clear to me that they dropped the ball on putting assets where they're supposed to be. And we know that they were a bit shorthanded because Trump had been asking for more Secret Service protection for a while, and they didn't provide it. But it really begs the question, like, how did this guy even get into position first, having to come up across all these rooftops? Because he came up, on this brick building back here somewhere is where he gained access to the roof. So how did he even get up there and get unnoticed? How did he know exactly where to go? And that's the question I really start to ask about this, because
he had a
for him
drone
to get that close to the president. That's just insanity.
He flew a drone around. They knew he was there for 30 minutes. A police officer did confront him, which is when he began panic firing. The Secret Service agents that were in that building that were keeping overwatch on that roof, there was a sniper in there who wasn't keeping overwatch on that roof because he was letting the other sniper inside. And then apparently, according to the Butler police, they said that they were told that it's okay, it's hot.
Yeah,
So my understanding. So Benny Johnson did a whole entire thing about this morning on his show, and I tuned in for a little bit because it was interesting. Because he was just there. He talked to some of the people who supposedly was on the security detail that day, and they said that the snipers, it was the local snipers, local SWAT team that were snipers that were in the second floor of that building that was supposed to be keeping watch of that roof, among other things. And he said that, one of them, so the 3 snipers, one of them was told that he can go home early, which is kind of a red flag. The second one he was sent off to go look for crooks because they found him, or they, took photos of him. And so they flagged him as suspicious. And that sniper went to go look for him, kind of a red flag. And then apparently when he couldn't find crooks and he was trying to get back into the building, his key card didn't have access to the key card thing. And so that wouldn't let him into the building. Red flag. And then the remaining sniper that was on the second floor keeping overwatch for that, he was then forced to go and let the other sniper back in. red flag. So it seems like Crooks just won the lottery on this one somehow, some way.
There's a lot of coincidences there.
This starts leaning away from, conspiracy theory. This starts leaning away from, assassination attempt. This starts leaning into somebody's really pissed off at the Secret Service and wants to point out their training sucks.
Well, there's a point that I want to make with this is like the Secret Service, like they've been doing this for a long time, and they're pretty good at it. They're pretty good at what they do. And
well, at least they used to be.
Or they used to be. They've got a lot of science behind it. They've got a lot of knowledge. They've got a lot of understanding, and the agents go through a lot of training to become Secret Service agents. This isn't a job that they just you'd think they'd let a rank amateur into. Although watching that woman trying to holster that gun, that was a bit laughable. And so it makes you wonder, though, like someone who's an on-scene commander, though, should know better. It's not a low-level Secret Service person who should have been making these calls. It was like an on-scene commander who's controlling the scene, who's telling people where to be, when to be. Why didn't they have protections up? It's just like that, getting people up around that piece of property with the cop cars, just keeping anybody from going in there. That should have been a given, because Crooks was able to go park his car close enough to have his weapon in the car to be able to come in, walk around the place, go out, retrieve his gun, climb up on the roof, and not have a single person challenge him there.
Which is really impressive when you see the physical abilities of that person.
I will say this. Crooks apparently rode in on a bicycle. So if you watch some of the raw body cam footage that came out from the people on the roof from one of the emergencies service, I can't think of the name right now. I'm not drunk, I promise. He's on the roof, and there's a body cam footage of him, and they're talking about and so he grabs his phone and he's showing the Secret Service agent supposedly the picture of the bike, Crooks's bike that he rode in on, and they're like, hey, we observed him riding in on this bike, kind of suspicious, and then we observed him doing other things that are really suspicious. So it looks like he did ride in on a bike. And so, but yeah, they found explosives in his vehicle. Like, that's weird.
He had IEDs. And then the other question is, how did he get the gun in there? And because if he rode in on the bike, where did the gun come from? Did he plant it beforehand? And did they not find it? That's my suspicion. And that's what really makes me wonder, because he obviously had to get close enough. And I start to ask, like, this kid didn't have any military training. He's 20 years old. He doesn't really have any life experience. I can't remember what they said he did for a living, but he's not someone who really,
I think he worked in a nursing home. Yeah.
Okay. So worked in a nursing home. So this is a guy who doesn't have any type of tactical or weapons training. He is able to get this gun,
which is very visible from just the placement of the red dot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets up there, though, and he gets this gun into place, and he's able to get past all these layers of security completely, well, not completely unnoticed, but without anyone ever challenging him, without anyone, pulling up and being like, hey, you there, stop, what are you doing? And so that's a real problem, because
with the threat of actually stopping him. I mean, there's people who noticed him, there's people who were shouting, so he knew he was caught. But nobody threatened him to stop him. Like he still was able to carry out what he was doing, even though people noticed him, which red flag.
It's willful negligence at this point, I think.
Which I think if you take willful negligence and that's basically on the same level as this was, this was actual malice at that point.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I have to wonder, the question I ask is, I don't think it was like some type of MK Ultra thing or something like that. I know some people think that, where like this kid was just like groomed and put up to it and everything else. But I really have to wonder, is there someone who wanted to be rid of Trump in our government from all the other things that they've done through the false impeachment, everything else, all the things that they've gone after him for?
Nothing has stopped him before.
Did they find out that this kid wanted to kill him, and did they just hold the gate open? Did they just hold the door open?
That's my thought.
Makes you think.
Because I know that the on-scene commander could have been, in the ears of the sniper, like, no, don't shoot yet. We don't know. And then all of a sudden the guy's shooting and the guy takes the shot,
Yeah.
That's what my concern is, that they just let it happen. Not that they necessarily facilitated it.
Right.
They just
to back up. No snipers on the water tower to keep overwatch of all the building tops, all the rooftops. And then you have no drone. The Secret Service denied the use of drones for surveillance the day before, I believe, because they were saying, hey, let's do this. And they're like, nope, we deny it. And so it's like you got that. And then you got the snipers who were more or less abandoning their posts, for whichever reason. It does seem like there was a hole created for this guy, and either he won the lottery just willy-nilly or fill in the blank. And so it's like,
and the thing with
my question is why? I mean, with you talking about them, one of the snipers going out to find crooks. Why the fuck was the sniper?
Yeah,
going
that's
out
not
for
his
this?
job. That's not his job.
Your entire job is to look this direction.
Yeah.
Well, scan, but still look at this direction. Your entire job is to hold this weapon and to be counter sniper.
He left his
Sniper
post,
and
you
then
do not leave
spotter.
your post unless you are ordered to do so. You do not, as any type of military man will tell you, when you've been in the military, when you are handed a job, when you are told this is your post, you do not abandon your post, because it is right in the military general orders. I will not abandon my post until relieved. That is the language that they use in the military. And so it should be the same thing for the police in this type of situation.
I've got multiple friends and family members that were snipers or other forms of long-range gunmen that were meant for security or just containment, etc. When they talk about it and they talk about their job, it is entirely, no, you don't leave. You were given one duty. And it's not just until you're relieved. It's until you're relieved and told that you are allowed to go. Because you have people show up and you're relieved. Your job is to sit there and make sure the other dude's ready before you go.
The entirety of their job is to either be there with their eye and a gun, or to be there with their eyes and a rangefinder looking through the crowd, telling the other guy to look for this thing.
And resting and making sure the other two people that are doing this are okay and there's nothing wrong with them, because the one just getting told to go home makes no sense, because a lot of times it is teams to 3, because you have the redundancy factor.
Yeah, and that really begs a lot of questions. And so, the thing is, you have people who are the incident commanders, who are in charge of everything there. And all it would take is that person giving the order saying, hey, leave your post, go do this thing. Or you go do that thing. You go check over here, giving the order, misdirection.
Yep.
If they knew that, oh, hey, there's a possible sighting over here, go look over in the northeast corner when the guy's coming in from southwest. That's all it would take, is just misdirecting them to the wrong spot. And they'd have no idea it was done to them.
And that's the whole thing of, once again, who told the sniper to do this? Because you have teams of people. You even just have the local law enforcement that you could have been like, all right, you guys look for this dude. Because we have people that are doing, especially since they've stated multiple times it was limited manpower, that are doing absolutely what they should be doing and should not leave that post.
Yep.
Thank you, Sol
Got it
Gazelle.
right there. General order number 1. I will guard everything within the limits of my post and quit my post only when properly relieved.
Yes.
And so it's right there. And so that, and this is basic stuff. This is boot camp shit. And these guys, they should have known better. The other question I would ask is, who was the shooter training with? Because this guy got some training somewhere. From who? I don't know, but he got some help. And the one thing I wanted to show that really illustrates that he did get some help from someone is this photo here of Trump. Right after the fact, the iconic sticking his fist in the air photo. If you look at that flag behind him, that flag, I think, is probably 10 to 12 feet wide and close to 20 feet long. To make that flag stick straight out back like that, you need a significant amount of wind. And that's within moments of the shooting. That's within 2 minutes of the shooting. And so for this shooter to come out there and make a cold bore shot that damn near pierces his dome, would have, if he didn't turn his head, for him to be able to come out and make a cold bore shot like that. If you are someone who has done any kind of distance shooting, you know that first shot, that cold bore shot, is the hardest, because you have yet to put any rounds down range. You don't know where they're going to miss, they're going to hit. And when you're dealing with, because with the way that shot was taken, you had a broad, wind on the broadside. And so it's going to want to push that bullet off. So you're going to have to lead it a significant amount. So the fact that he knew to do that tells me that he planned for this for a significant amount of time. He was practiced. and he was getting good information from somebody. And he also was carrying a laser rangefinder with him that tells me that he understood about range to target, and he understood offsets for his weapon in wind and bullet drop and everything else.
Now, I will say this. So I was watching the rally live in real time, and about 15, 20 minutes prior, the flag, the American flag that we saw in that photo was actually
Wrapped up.
the wind. Yeah, it wrapped it up into the on itself, and it kind of looked like an angel. A lot of people were pointing out.
I say eagle,
but eagle, angel, whatever, whatever floats your boat. But it was still the wind,
Large wing,
wrapped it around. Right. But it did wrap it around itself. So the wind was pretty significant at that time.
Yeah.
And so they said, we need to fix this before Trump gets here. And so they fixed the flag and everything. And so that's that. So yeah, you're right though. I mean, the wind did, that the flag served as a perfect wind measurement of like, okay, this is the direction the wind's going. So I need to adjust and all that. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not a sniper, but growing up in Montana, I did do a lot of distance shooting, because I did a good amount of hunting, and you have to know these things when you're hunting, because if you want that animal to go down and to not be tracking it through the bush for 4 or 5 days because you maimed it and not killed it, that's your problem. And you don't want the game warden finding that thing out there with your bullet in it and then coming looking for you.
Right.
And well, that's, you practice with that. And, so I don't want to make, any type of claim, make people think that I'm a sniper or something, but I have done enough distance shooting to understand these things. And when you're dealing with a 5.56, I mean, that's a .223. That is not a big, heavy bullet that is going to have a lot of resistance.
Though fast moving.
It's fairly fast, but it's a fairly light bullet. So the wind is going to affect it very quickly. And so that's the question I start asking.
Even within that range. Yeah.
Yeah. Is where did this kid pick up his technical expertise to be able to do this? Was he getting, and it seems to me, because there are some things with like how the weapon was set up and everything else. So it seems to me that he had either the drive to get online and learn this stuff for himself, which is possible. But it seems to me as though someone was feeding him information on things that he was going to need to do, to sit there and solo plan this op at 24 years old, or excuse me, at 20 years old, and have it be successful as it was, to literally put a bullet into the president or, former president of the United States.
Yep.
Well, and circumvent the Secret Service.
Yeah.
Circumvent the entire Secret Service somehow.
There's just a lot of small things.
Especially if he did come in on a bike, and if he were the one that came in and planted the weapon beforehand, with the background that we've generally found out from this person, he wouldn't have had that knowledge. That's not something that you would think about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he seemed like I saw a couple of interviews with him. He certainly seemed like an extremist. I got some things there. And then also there was I don't know if you guys saw, but Andrew Tortoba actually found out that this kid had been posting on Gab, and he was just doing the reply guy thing. He was basically going after everyone conservative, being a troll, and, it made it very clear what his standpoints were.
One thing I did want to point out with that, thank you for bringing that up, is there was an interview with a classmate of his, and he basically said that he kind of seemed like he came off as like a know-it-all. And when you read his posts, it kind of seems like he comes off as a know-it-all. So yeah, I think that was pretty interesting.
And that's what really makes me wonder, because a know-it-all is usually the guy that's going to screw it up. Because, when you start to get into a situation like that, where you have something go down, be it a military op or whatever else, the guy that's in the know-it-all is the last one you want planning the op, because they're going to be in there. Their hubris is going to drive their overconfidence, and they're going to screw it all up. And he did not screw this op up. I mean, he put a bullet in President Trump.
He did. So it was a good shot.
He came very, very close from committing murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Trump.
He did.
He did commit murder, but yes, I meant specifically on
for Trump.
Who was the
not an innocent bystander
during the Cheadle oversight committee? What was the senator or he was senator or congressman who's congressman, right? Yeah. Who said, like, I own an AR-15. I haven't shot it in 6 years, and
congressman from Texas, I think.
Yeah,
I think Texas. District 13. I think District 13. I can't remember his name, but I think District 13. Don't ask me why I know that.
Okay, but either way, he reenacted it, and he fired the same amount of shots and had a 94% kill rate as well.
Yep.
So while, yes, it could be you know, that there was a lot more, you know, stuff going on. At the same time, for anyone who's somebody who has not fired a gun, who has fired it once before, to then pull off that shot and have a 94% kill rate.
Yeah. The point that I would make with that, though, is they probably went to the range on a day where there was no wind blowing.
We don't know. He didn't
You know,
mention that. He went into his property.
That's the mitigating factor.
On that same note, that first bullet could have been the one moment there was no wind.
Yeah, it could have been.
I mean,
yeah.
Because I will go back on the, did you see where his sight was placed? Like, that's someplace that's almost damn near indirect fire. Like,
yeah,
that how that weapon was taken care of, because you've seen posts about it, you've seen images, you've seen the videos and stuff like that, and looking at it and going like, that weapon doesn't look like it was cared for. Like, it very much there. We live in a world where random happenstance, the first one got real close.
There, you know, that is also within the realm of possibility, and it's possibility there was just like that perfect luff in the wind.
Yep.
And, you know, and he could have been reading, you know, because that is kind of the thing too. If you've done any distance shooting, is you learn about timing the wind to make your shot.
Yeah.
Because, you know, wind generally when it starts to come up is not a constant. So it'll go and then it'll luff, it'll gust, it'll luff. And so you're looking for that moment in time when it luffs, so you have less impact on what's going to happen with the bullet.
By the way, I just would like to share this from Discord really quick. This is from Discord.
Oh, card. You're already making credit cards or debit cards with it?
Yeah, I think it's one of those debit card stickers, but that's kind of awesome, and I kind of want one.
That is
with,
cool.
with the number of things that, like, the rangefinder, possibly even if they were reading the wind, it sounds a lot like, if not somebody was talking them through this, it could also be they read everything about how to be a long range shooter, but it never done it before. Like, you're sitting there, and that could also explain why the sight was in the wrong place. That could explain a lot of the things they did, a lot of the rushed things that happened.
There
was, you read how to do it, or you had somebody talk you through how to do it, even if they were talking to somebody about hunting and just applied it to a different scenario. And because never having done it before, you mess up those couple things, and that's what makes me lean towards that and not towards training.
So another aspect of this to, I guess, maybe consider, and correct me if I'm wrong, because, you know, I'm not, this isn't my realm of expertise or anything. I sit at a desk.
You're
and I code
always
all day.
wrong, Dalton.
Well, maybe not.
I believe
but I do want to
correct with the type of site and placement. By the way, just wanted to point that out from Chad. Yeah.
Now, if he was, so they did say they noticed him with a backpack, right?
Mm.
And so now, is it too far out of the realm of possibilities that he disassembled his AR, put it in his backpack, got into position, reassembled it, and then when he took the shot, maybe the sight was slightly off than what he was used to?
I would say probably not. I mean, it's possible that he put it in the backpack, because the AR-15, if anybody doesn't know, it's got 2 takedown pins, and if you pull those 2 pins out, which you can do just by taking around and pushing the pin, it comes in half, and then it's a much smaller package at that point. It will fit in the backpack. And so that could be how he got the gun in there. Although the barrel looked a bit long, it looked like a 20-inch barrel to me, which is why I'm, 20-inch barrel plus like about another 8 inches of receiver. I feel
like he probably placed it before the day.
Yeah.
I feel like because he had visited that same area
like 2 days before.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like that's probably the more likely scenario. But you never know.
Yeah, you never know, and it's really hard to say. And of course, we'll never know because he's dead. So,
right.
You know, that's it.
We're dealing with a whole lot of conjecture, especially with the people that are in charge of the investigation.
I was going to say the FBI does not have incentive to tell the truth about this.
Yes.
And I think that's why we're speculating so hard and trying to brainstorm this, is because we know we're not.
Our official statements that came out were, I don't know. I don't know.
Which I will point out. I mean, the FBI,
the roof.
I will point out,
the roof is on level.
If the FBI does it, you know, they typically, I mean, the last several investigations that they've done, they haven't really instilled confidence in the American people. So it really leaves the American people to have to investigate this for themselves, to find the facts for themselves. And when you do that, you do end up with some weird conspiracy theories like second shooter on the water tower, which I don't necessarily subscribe to. I think I've mentioned that in probably the last podcast, but it's like it is wild. If you don't do a good job of informing the American people of what actually happened, fact by fact, then the American people are going to take it into their hands to be like, okay, you're not doing your job and you're supposed to, but screw you. So we're going to do it. And when they do it, you're not going to get everything right.
It could simply be that as Trump asked for more Secret Service protection and it was denied, that could be what created the situation where this was able to happen. And that's why they're having the cover up. It could be that there was nothing where the gate was being held open or anything like that. It could just be that denial of extra Secret Service protection meant that they were short-staffed. They didn't have the resources on hand to properly secure the location. And so they were making do with what they had. And that's why this guy was just able to walk in and take a shot at the president. It's entirely possible that's the case. And the thing is if that is the case, who does that fall on? It falls on, Homeland Security's shoulders. Because Secret Service
and that's going to make up. And they have all the incentive to not do that. They want to look like they are the ones keeping everything in control. They are the ones protecting you. They are the ones who are in charge of all of this, and that they know everything on how to, safeguard, American people. Which, the truth does not benefit them at all.
And we're losing confidence in them because you look at the different things, like how many people from Epstein's client list did they get? Epstein's house was full of videotapes of evidence.
Oh yeah.
And they haven't arrested a single person.
Yep.
It just goes to show, and all these other times they've investigated all these other people and they found no wrongdoing. Hunter Biden's laptop, for example. They looked at
our latest thing is we had the Hunter Biden laptop, and it wasn't until he was brought in for charges that honestly other people disagree with because of what the charges were and how it was gone about, that he was actually a convicted felon.
Well, from my understanding is, so the laptop, so Hunter Biden brought the laptop to the laptop repair store, gave him the password and everything. The guy who owns the computer shop, he basically gave it to the FBI. He made a copy, gave it to the FBI. The FBI did nothing. And so by the time that the FBI did nothing, and it was like a year later, the shop owner actually published it, and more or less he gave it to, I think, Rudy Giuliani, I think a couple of other people, and had them do it and everything. And it was only then when it was actually announced, like, hey, we had Hunter Biden's laptop, here was what was on it, that the FBI, they started having to scramble and everything. So it's like it's wild. It's like the FBI basically did a cover up, and then once they were kind of like, hey, we give this to the FBI didn't do anything about this, so now we're doing something about this.
I mean, the FBI to is be like fair, that's what they and most of the other 3-letter agencies are known for doing. It's just covering up things that would hurt them, because if you go through that laptop, you're going to find some things that bring up them.
When you look at the interview of the repair shop guy, he flat out says, because I think it was actually with Tucker Carlson when he gave the interview, he flat out says that he gave it to the FBI, and when the agents came in and picked up the computer, he said the agents asked if he made any copies, and he told them no and lied to them. And that's why they buried the thing, because they didn't think a copy of it was going to come out. And so the question I would ask is, who are those agents? Where the hell are they? And like, they need to be pulled in front of Congress and made to answer for this, because that's, that's a bullshit. But, of course, our Congress won't do it because our Congress is corrupt. It's just, we have all these different levels of corruption in our government right now. And it's just we, the people, that are getting screwed.
I mean, it's a crumbling foundation to a house that's been decrepit for years.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to go over something that I just saw in chat, and it's something that Dalton actually sent to me when I was out at dinner with my wife, that Trump is going to be going back to Butler, PA.
I saw that.
And he is going to give this, do another rally, but in honor of the
firefighter that got killed.
The firefighter, who got killed.
Probably not saying his name right.
I've given up. I do not want to do a disservice by pronouncing his name.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, I feel like awful if I pronounce it, but like, so
and it's a real problem for the Democrats, him going back, because that Trump is going to bring the firefighter's family up on stage. They're going to bring the other victims who got shot up on stage if they want to attend.
Mind you, they are at least one of them. I'm not sure if both, but one of them is out of the hospital.
Yeah.
They
And so
just got out with a full recovery and everything.
Is Pittsburgh within Butler County? Because I know Butler is a
Butler is, I think, the
but-
suburb of Pittsburgh.
Okay. So I was gonna say, because Trump basically won Butler, right? He basically won that county. I feel like. I mean, how do you not? Especially if you go back and you do a rally after you were nearly assassinated. How do you not win that?
Yeah.
Now I was gonna say, if that's
being on the West Coast, like we saw it, it's been everywhere out here on the West Coast, and I'm on the West Coast. Like I look out the window, I'm looking at the Pacific Ocean, and so for us to be, because I'm in a little small town, and it is a liberal dominated small town. Like this is a very blue town, and it was everywhere in the news here. Everyone here is talking about it, and it was you didn't have so many people who were taking like the standard liberal response to it of, we wish you'd been a better shot. Those people actually had a very bad time here. So it curdled a lot of people's stomachs, that kid taking a shot at him. And there's been a lot of talk about it. And the really rampant libtards out here have been very quiet. And it kind of started with the debate, but it has even gone down more since then. And you're not seeing any bumper stickers, any signs out here, anything in the area. It seems to me that they have really lost their momentum through all this. And so I can only imagine what the situation on the ground in Pennsylvania has to be right now, that this happened in their backyard. It was right there. They all know where the place is. I don't see any way that Pennsylvania doesn't go deep red at this point. And it kind of goes for the other states on the East Coast as well.
I'm going to disagree
my only
on
counter
that.
to this real quick. My only counter to this real quick before Tax chimes in is, I think the play that Kamala is probably going to do is pick Josh Shapiro for her VP.
Now,
and that's how she's going to try to win PA.
Also, as somebody who lives in PA, first off, I live in a very red area because 90% of land mass in Pennsylvania is red. Now, the parts that are not are Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Now, I forget the guy's name, Dalton, the guy who long hair. He's been registering people in specifically Pennsylvania. Scott Bressler. So they have officially flipped a couple of counties, large counties in Philadelphia that now have more registered Republicans than they do Democrats. But at the same time, it all comes down to voter turnout. And the last thing that I ever want to see is people becoming complacent because they think, this is in the bag because this happened. No, fight until the fucking end. That is how this works. And you fight until there is a victory.
Don't get complacent.
Do not get complacent. And so the way I see it is, I do believe that there is a very strong shift. I will agree with you on that. Is it strong enough that it's going to make Pennsylvania deep red? I don't necessarily see. I see it lean red.
Yeah,
I do see it lean red. I don't see it deep red.
And that's what I think. And also the reason I think that is Kamala is so unlikable. A lot of people don't want to vote for a cop for president, and she's going to lean heavy on that. She's going to talk about her experience as a prosecutor, and then it's going to come out talking about the people that she kept in prison, even though she knew they were innocent, things like that.
Yeah.
Those types of things. And all Trump has to do is throw that in her face on the debate stage. And she's got problems with a lot of the country because we want a justice system here. And when he can tell her, you kept people you knew that were innocent in prison because you didn't want to mess up your ratio of conviction, that's going to really hit home with people that, she would allow someone who was innocent to remain in guilty status.
That's what ended her initial presidential run, was when Tulsi Gabbard brought that up, that exact thing. Which is why I really do think that that the Trump team should be utilizing Tulsi Gabbard. Because first off, she has come out in support for Trump. She has changed her tune on a lot of things, as I say, and I've said this a million times. I'll say it again. She is the only Democrat previous Democrat, because I don't think she is anymore.
No, she left.
She left. Yeah, she's now independent. But she was the only Democrat that I saw as reasonable because she at least listened to people and was willing to change her perspective based on new evidence.
Yeah. And
Right.
Tulsi, she has come around a lot, as she left the Democrats, everything else. I don't know where she goes in the future, if she runs for office again or whatever else she's going to do.
Time will tell.
Because I think she was trying to become his VP pick this time around, which did not materialize, which I kind of wish that he would have, because if he would have picked her for the VP, he would have had a very strong ticket that would have been a very big problem for the Democrats.
And Kamala,
especially-
especially, I think.
Yeah.
being able to pull
And
them.
I think that
well,
might
I've
have
got
been
a female too.
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
I think it might have been why they waited until after the convention where Trump had named his VP to kick Joe out.
It's possible. And I think that that's a very logical thing to do. And here's the thing, like we talk about how the left is stupid, right? No, the supporters are stupid because they're part of a cult. But
They're
the DNC
illogical.
itself, they're illogical. But the DNC is shrewd and extraordinarily intelligent. They know how to operate. They know how to manipulate social media. They know how to do all of these things.
They can play the chess game very well. Yes,
They can. And so that makes a lot of sense knowing that.
But this is one of the first elections that they've really had. Well, this and the last election, I would say, is one of the first times in several years for the DNC where they've really had a wrench thrown into their whole entire gear system, where they've had to pivot more times than they're used to, and especially this time. I mean, they pivoting this time with Kamala 100 days out from the election. They did not want this at all. Nobody wants this. No matter what party you are, you do not want to pivot like this.
And I think what happened there is, for a while there, they had like the chemical cocktail they were giving Joe kind of dialed, where he was going out and he was becoming what I called Cocaine Joe, where he'd just come out there and he'd have like that, that fire and whatever it was. So he could make it on stage for an hour and put up the appearance, and they thought everything was great, and then he'd go home and crash, I'm sure. But I think they just didn't realize that it was going to wear him out so fast, because what did they care?
I mean, that may be the reason that he had to drop out. It's the fact that the after effects of all this finally just full on, if not killed him, he may be like hospitalized because of how many amphetamines were in his body.
Yeah,
well, you're giving an old dude with heart
energy he
issues and strokes, fucking amphetamines. That's just a bad move,
As hilarious as it might be, calm down.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at this face, like there's a guy who has been doing some drugs who does not have his fix, I mean, tell me that's not what that face is. Like, he's trying to push himself through the withdrawal and give the speech to his family about how he's going to get better,
Well, did you see during the debate, he blinked like what?
At least 3 days.
How many times? Because somebody counted how many times he blinked during the debate. I think it was like 4.
During the whole debate? I'm not sure.
The entire debate. There's somebody who calculated it. They watched. It was some insanely low number. Let me actually look that up.
It's
that
amazing
one
that
video,
they get him, like pulling the collar and like locking the jaw, like.
that one video that he did challenging Trump to a debate, he's like, "Oh, anytime, anywhere, make my day," and all that. It was just like he did not blink once in that entire ad. It was just like, why did somebody authorize this to be released? It's like, this is weird. This doesn't help him.
Yeah, and then that video from the other night, he was like practically whispering. He was hoarse. There was just no energy. There was nothing. And that they didn't give him the chemical cocktail for that night. And just, he just was not functioning. And I think it was on purpose to make him look as bad as possible. So people wouldn't be like, "Oh, Joe, you can still do it." That like they wanted people to understand that, oh no, now we must go and rally behind Kamala. So that, I mean, it's literally just trading one puppet for another, because Joe ain't the one running the White House. We all know that.
Yep. I mean, they would prefer Joe, but Joe is not going to win the election. So they got to pivot.
Yeah.
And so now they're trying to put her in. They're trying to make the things happen. And at this point, it's the question of, are they able to pull it off? And that's what we got to see, because I think they've got a real train wreck with Kamala. I don't think they wanted her at the top of the ticket.
I would agree with that. I think they did it purely for financial reasons, rather than going to an open primary, which are now being challenged.
Yeah, all of those are being halted right now, aren't they?
They're frozen. They are frozen because the Trump campaign filed suit claiming that they cannot just give donations to another candidate Now, I have heard that the argument behind why they can is because the Biden ticket was always listed as the Biden-Harris ticket, and so were all the campaign websites. So her name was included. Now, whether or not they all fall under that, we'll see. But also, I do believe that the standard procedure is that all of that money must go back to the party, and then the party has to figure out what to do with those funds, but they cannot utilize it for the political campaign.
Well, I
feel
would
like
say
in this
that it
instance,
would probably
should go back to the people that donated, but
I agree.
I was just about to say that. I was going to say it should be, if it's not going to go to Joe Biden anymore, it should default get a refund. Everybody who donated gets a refund, and then if they feel the need to,
that would be
donate again
great
to
for all
Kamala.
those people that supposledly donated thousands of dollars. To
Yeah, that'd be
suddenly just
wonderful
get
for those
thousands of
European
dollars
billionaires
back
to
when
get their money back.
when they may have sent like $5 once.
There's probably a reason they're not doing that, because if they did that, they'd probably screw that whole entire thing up and give the
That
people
whole
who
system,
did donate money, all that money.
Wouldn't
The
it be
system
hilarious
can't go
if they were-
backwards.
if they were forced
Exactly.
to do that, and all of a sudden these people started being like, "Why did I get a check for $75,000? I only
Exactly.
donated 5."
Yeah, so that's the thing.
I've
Is
never
Why the
had
hell would I
one.
donate this now?
Does anybody remember the Obamacare website when Obamacare
God.
first came
Yes.
out?
Dear Lord, yeah.
And
it was
so
built on
it was healthcare.gov, and it was the worst piece of shit
It
on
was.
the fucking planet.
was.
So
I remember
you
that
tell
very well.
me that they know how to build a website that can reverse transactions properly. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, you
But
go to
I will
any
say
government website right now and tell me they know.
Yeah, go
they
to a
know how to build
DMV
a
website. Yeah, have fun.
I will say, Act Blue is not Democrat, or it's not Democrat. It's not government ran. It is, I believe, a private ran.
It's a
money
super PAC.
funnel.
It's a super PAC, yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a
I
Democrat.
don't know that it's a
super
super
PAC.
PAC.
That's what it is.
No, I think it literally is labeled as a super PAC.
Well, it's like Win Red. Win Red is the Republican. It's a platform, right? It's a payment platform, right? And so it's like they handle transactions, and so Act Blue is the same thing. It's a platform that handles transactions for specifically the Democrats. So
Yeah,
I don't know
it
that
is a
it's
super PAC.
necessarily a super PAC. It is. Okay.
It is a super PAC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of seems weird.
That's
It's like
great, Carson. Aren't Dems against reversing trans?
Oh shit. Okay, that's a really fucking. That's a really.
now.
Speaking of trans, did you guys see the Elon Musk and Jordan Peterson interview?
I did not.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, not-
I a little bit.
I saw parts of it. I will tell everybody I did not watch the whole thing. I haven't had time, but the parts I did watch were heartbreaking, to say
The part
the
where
least.
he said that his son Xavier, who transitioned, basically that he's dead.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
saying
was
that he
pretty
was killed by the
heartbreaking.
woke mind virus. That when he went to the physician said, if you don't do this, your son's going to kill themselves. Which is just like, as a parent, that is a horrendous thing to hear, and you would do anything to avoid it. But also, that's, in my mind, complete malpractice. It's medical manipulation and malpractice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's what's really sinister about it is these physicians are making a pile of money from it.
Oh yeah.
Oh
And,
yeah.
That surgery, something like $75,000. It's not like they're just getting. And I remember one of these doctors talking, running around that does the surgeries on women. And she's like, "Oh yeah, we're just lopping all these tits off." And she's joking about it, thinking it's funny. And it's, "Oh, haha, I cut girls' tits off." I don't,
Doesn't
yeah.
sit right.
And the thing is, they're also building themselves a list of continued clients because those people need constant medical care now because of not just hormones, but everything they've done is actually now a continuously open wound.
Right. Yeah. It's
And you have
Either
to
way,
maintain
it is
that.
a continuous
they're
open wound.
creating a customer for the rest
Yep.
of that person's life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is also why I dislike the healthcare system at all in the U.S.
Well,
because it's not about curing you of a
revenue
thing.
It's
It's
not
about
this.
building.
It's so.
building
Do
customer
not.
bases.
Do not. Okay, as somebody who has ran a medical ACO, do not call insurance healthcare. The insurance system is what you hate. You hate the insurance system because they are the ones who lobby through big pharma. You do not hate the healthcare system because most people are operating underneath that system. I just want to always.
I hate the insurance system in the majority of the non-profit hospitals.
Fair.
Renegade, are you getting a steak
Because
dinner over
ev-
there?
I am getting
You
a
getting a
steak
steak
dinner. over
dinner?
here.
You're getting a steak dinner
Yes,
again,
I
right?
am.
Epic.
Yeah, she just
Eat
got
like
home.
I
and
did.
had steak dinner.
Trying to be quiet, but I think the sizzle gave it away.
Oh no, we heard
No, I-
heard the sizzle and saw the steam.
Yeah, we're getting a steak dinner over here. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
and I'm not sorry about it either.
No, I wouldn't be either, dude.
You know what, Show? That's a good idea. I need to go grab a water. I'll be back in just a moment.
Yeah.
Man, I felt like I was gonna bring something up and then I completely forgot.
You're going to bring up that one time that you were experimenting with a toaster in a bath.
Live,
No,
laugh,
I-
toaster bath.
Oh, in the bath? Good old toaster bath? Nope. Vote to go up to 75%. So we're at 50% insanity right
yeah,
now.
Yeah. By the way, I would like to, we have a troll in the chat. I'm just going to assume they're a troll or they're genuinely retarded. But I would like to point out that here's the thing. Do I believe in Israel's right to exist? Yes. Do I give a shit about the Palestinian-Israeli conflict? I think that loss of life is a horrible thing. I'm anti-war. Fuck both of those countries. Fuck Ukraine. America first. Not our problem.
Where I'm at with the whole thing, being a veteran, understanding this a little bit, having lost friends to, that horrible experience we had for the last 20 years over there, known as TWAT, the War Against Terror.
Yep.
I look at the whole situation. Yeah, it's terrible that people are dying. But, October 6th, there was relative peace in the Middle East. Yeah, they had their little issues back and forth.
Abraham Accords.
But, they had relative peace.
Yes.
And all Hamas had to do to continue to have peace was to not kill people. And that was too much to ask.
I agree.
From them. And they got in their little hang glider, paraglider, aircraft things, and they flew into a music festival.
Yes.
Not a military base, not a military stronghold,
civilian,
not
yes.
a border guard, a music festival, and indiscriminately raped and killed innocent people who were not soldiers. And to that I say, I do not care if they are burned into nothing but ash and dust.
I agree with that. Here's the thing. If right now, if this moment, if Israel said, okay, we are going to drop the biggest bomb possible on that entire area and just carpet bomb it out of existence, I would be like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
After what happened to them, yeah, I get it. But at the same time, I don't believe it should be on our dime.
Right. It's like if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Just don't send our tax dollars to do it. I don't want to pay for it. I'm tired of our treasure being used to do
now, how do you feel about this? Because I've had this conversation with Grim, and so has Dalton, where Grim believes that rather than us sending foreign military aid, what if the United States was the world's mercenary service? That they hire us, they pay us to come aid in their war.
I mean, we kind of already have that with Blackwater.
We do, but I'm saying from a purely, from our actual standing military, you can hire the U.S. to come fight your war for you, and we will get it over quickly and efficiently.
I don't really like that, and here's why. Is if you look at the history of the American Revolution, the British brought in the Prussians to fight with them, which are the Germans.
Yes.
And they were conscripted, hired soldiers. So you had this situation, and so these Prussian soldiers that came over here, we absolutely butchered them. And the reason we butchered them is they did not have the will to fight because they did not believe in the cause. And that is the problem with hiring mercenaries, is that mercenaries, they're getting paid to care. Well, our soldiers don't get paid that well to care about someone else's cause. If it's like an actual mission where the country gets hyped up and sends them to war, that's one thing. Generally, the military does get on board with that. You do have some dissenters, but generally they get on board with that. But if you're trying to use our military like a mercenary force, you're not going to have our military behaving like it is our military in the past.
Yes.
And it is going to be rife with screw-ups. It is going to be rife with trouble. And you're going to have, a lot of incidents on Liberty where we are, have things happen there. And then we're going to have blunders where people are killed in battle. And it's going to make us look very bad. And it is going to lead to more war. And the reason it's going to lead to more war is because when we have those bad public outings, and then we have those military blunders, all of a sudden, it's like the same effect like when, Biden says we're not going to see choppers taking off from the roof of the embassy in Afghanistan, and it happens within 3 days. You see the chopper taking off from the embassy roof in Afghanistan. It sends a very clear message to the world. And then you have, within 6 months, Russia going to war in the Ukraine. It's that type of situation
also,
that would cause.
Just want to point out, also, is the Hessians, not the Prussians.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my brain is full right now, but
a lot
you are correct.
People.
Yeah. The chat is going a little autistic, and you want to know the funny reason. So not only do I know that from reading American history because it's something I enjoy, but also, have you guys seen Sleepy Hollow?
The one with
the one with Johnny Depp, and what is the Headless Horseman? He is a Hessian mercenary.
He's a Hessian mercenary.
Also the famous Washington crossing the Delaware. The reason that went over as swimmingly and smoothly as it did is because they were Hessian mercenaries.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've got them in the winged hussars, which then became I'm from Indiana, the Hoosiers. That's because it was full of a bunch of fucking German mercenaries that were the winged hussars, which became Hoosiers for some reason.
Yeah. So just wanted to point that out. So by the way, I agree with that take. I do believe that once again, if we are to have any involvement, I do believe that the payment should go the other way around. I believe we should be at least reimbursed by our allies for our assistance if that's the case. But at the same time, never on our dime, never without a congressional vote as well.
Well, the problem is we keep trying to play world policeman, and look at how it keeps ending when we do this nation building bullshit. I mean, look at it happening. Korea's been a hot mess. Vietnam, look at what it turned into. And then you have Afghanistan, Iraq.
The entirety of the Middle East.
We have got into the situation where, we've gotten so afraid as being seen as an empire. When someone legitimately does start a war, they don't fear what's going to happen in the aftermath because they know we'll come in and spend the money to rebuild everything and give it back. I mean, that's just silliness.
Yeah.
And so the only way that I see for us to really change our tack there is to go in and say, hey, we do not want war. We are not going to fight a war with you. But if you push us into a war that we cannot avoid, you are going to become a subsidized territory of the United States of America, and we're going to come in and bomb everything into oblivion. And when we rebuild there, it is going to be to make money for ourselves to pay for the war we had to fight. And when you take that,
this makes me think of a comment that I saw way earlier when we were talking about stuff in chat here, which I believe was actually Riemann Scimitar.
Yeah.
And it was forever ago, and it's Stairs in MacArthur was right in World War II.
Well, and also, it'd be Patton was also right. Patton wanted to go after the Russians, and I think they killed him for it. That's one of the theories. Because right before
I guarantee it was.
Yeah, there was another almost accident where he almost got killed, and then there was a car accident where he actually got killed.
Yep, and there are plenty of our military members in high positions that they've had accidents. Mostly because they were standing there going, why don't we turn this into an empire? And I don't mean this as we should tyrant the world. No, it's for the longest time, we were the ones that were walking softly and carrying a big stick. Yeah. And everybody forgot what that big stick is. The last time that we saw it was when we took over a country in less than 48 hours.
Yeah. Well, when we steamrolled into Iraq the first time, like that was an incredible show of force.
And that was one of those things where it was absolutely, you told no to politicians what was happening. It's just like, we did this, and we did it so fast that everybody forgot about it. It wasn't long enough for people to remember it.
You look at what a masterclass 73 Easting was, and how badly the Iraqi army, which was the fourth largest military in the world at the time, by the way, and how badly we guillotined the Iraqi army at 73 Easting. I mean, there was nothing left. It was just a trail of destruction.
If anybody wants to talk about any of this or doesn't know, the Fat Electrician has many phenomenal videos with very in-depth, he's gone through and researched everything. He's brought out every side he could and tried to humanize it as much as possible instead of making it just military doctrine and, reading reports. So you've got things like Operation Praying Mantis. What do
I'll
you
have to check out
mean
his channel a little bit more.
proportional?
Well,
But yeah,
that's-
like Fat Electrician, like I love his stuff because it's one of the very few that I've been able to look at. Like I'm a huge history buff, especially when it gets to the military. And I don't mean just like World War II and modern, which is what most people look into. Like I love ancient history, and he even gets into like some of the real old stuff occasionally, or at least alludes to it, going like, "Nah, this is why this happened, and it led to this."
You know, it's very interesting when you get into that, and that's actually one of the reasons I've gotten into sailing. Is I'm going to be traveling the world and just seeing like the places where these things happened from history, the stories that I love. And like,
sadly, most of them hate Americans right now because they forgot.
Yeah. And like you look at like in the Revolutionary War, though, I mean, some of the things that happened there, like Captain John Paul Jones, like a lot of people don't realize he invaded England. He literally ran raids on British soil, and you don't even hear about that today. Like they don't teach that in school. And when I found that out, I was like, why didn't they teach us about this? That is so freaking cool because
the fact that during the Revolutionary War we were going against what was considered the best military in the world, that was not only had way outstanding number and firepower and training and money, and we took them out with a bunch of rednecks with basically the shittiest weapons that we could get by using tactics.
Yes and no. Here's the thing with that. Like when it comes to the ships, the British men of war, those square rig ships, they had massive amounts of firepower on them. I mean, some of those ships.
They were really slow, and
they were slow and they were gangly, and we used that to our advantage. We got these schooners. Like if you look at like the Baltimore Clippers that came out there, they were so maneuverable around these British ships that they could just do circles around them and shoot them, and the British could not bring their guns to bear because of it, because these ships could sail higher to the wind, and that's how.
I'm saying that was our entire. That's our entire war policy at that point in time, and that's kind of what we got back to be honest. Which is we hit them fast, we hit them in small numbers constantly, and move so they cannot find us.
Well, we discovered
even modern
also
day
that
that is a
guerrilla
lot of our
warfare
military
works.
tactic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you really look at
all
it,
except for that one point in time in our history where we fought ourselves and for some reason decided that line and trench was the ideal way to go, that I still don't understand that one.
Well, we were trying to be civilized.
Well, that's the thing, is I understand it, why it happened. I don't understand why it happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's an interesting thing to really realize that the United States Revolution is where asymmetrical warfare was invented.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of people don't realize it is like, we invented this. We came up with this here. And, you know, military action before that was very different and very gory.
Well, you see the occasional bouts of it, because it does pop up, especially in ancient history. But for some reason, it's always something that people never learned.
Yeah.
It popped up in small scales, or they would use it in military because the Romans used it multiple times and stuff. But they never used it as a common doctrine. It was always, this is our last resort. It's not honorable. And it's like, who cares? You stand upon a field of 1,000 dead souls, and you tell me where their honor lies.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly it. You know, and you know, we could sort it out at the end of the day. I'd rather still be breathing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing of it honestly lands on the same thing as, weirdly, the atomic bombs. Do I want to see tens of thousands of my countrymen die, or a very small population to prove a point?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, exactly it worked.
It's one of those tens versus millions type things.
I wish I had some beef jerky right now.
I have lemon cookies, and they're delicious.
I don't like lemon. I think lemon is
no. They were one of my grandfather's favorite things.
Okay, so you have like a familial attachment to them. I do not.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So
but
they're glorious. It's comforting.
What you got to do is you got to get your engineers to take the lemons and build combustible lemons that burn your house down.
My wife loves lemons. She will drink water, and she always asks for like water with like extra lemons. And when she says extra lemon, she means like 2 lemons chopped up in water, which is fucking insane.
So she just loves lemon flavored lemonade.
She wants that. She wants fucking lemon flavored cookies, lemon flavored cake, and I'm just like, this is all awful. I hate everything about it.
I could go with like a nice limoncello right now. Like that could be delicious.
No.
She's a
No.
lemony schnicket.
Oh my God.
Fucked up
No.
on lemon.
I could see, you know what? Here's the thing.
This is my like once or twice a year type thing. Like I get a package of these lemon cookies and it will last me like 3 weeks.
You also like mint, don't you?
Not really. Like
Okay.
It's an occasion. I don't dislike it, but it is a very.
What about
few
mint and
times.
chocolate?
I like mint
Peppermint and chocolate.
Oh,
Yeah, like Christmas time. Like that's
like
a good Christmas
and
time.
like
yeah.
and Andy's mint. I might
Yeah,
have
like
one.
Andy's Mint,
Like
I
a
like
Girl
Andy's
Scout
Mint.
Thin Mint. I
No.
might have like I'll eat a package of those. Those are. I think that's because of the cocaine they put in it.
No,
you know they
I
actually
can't.
there's this outfit. I'm gonna be bad here, and I'm gonna give a shout out to this business. There's an outfit called Goody Girl Cookies who makes Thin Mints that they sell year round, and I think they have them at Walmart. I've been in
they do.
Walmart forever, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
But that's like
Yeah.
mint ice cream. My mom really liked it, and it's one of those things where if I get in a weird mood, I might like it. But like
Mint ice cream.
that's
I
the one
can't
I've
get
never
into.
understood.
I'm not
Cranberry
a
sauce.
huge like mint and chocolate fan. I love peppermint. Like I love especially real peppermint. I absolutely love peppermint, but that's one of those things where like I will break up a piece of actual like the soft peppermint, the old school peppermint, and I'll use that like when I have stomach aches.
Yeah, that's the
what it
question
was
I have. Those like
kind
there's
of meant
certain
for.
things, certain foods that come up at like holiday times or whatever. The traditional like cranberry sauce. Like I don't understand how someone likes that.
Cranberry sauce.
Well, cranberry sauce is
I will
awful.
I'll actually eat cranberry sauce all year round. I don't care.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh, dude,
I
no.
can't do cranberries.
I feel Tack and I are almost always on the same page when it comes
With
to
food,
It's
yeah,
really
we're
weird.
very.
It's really weird. I've never met anyone in my
and
life.
This
who
is why
is
Dalton
similar.
hates poor people.
So, are you saying Tack hates poor people? With that
We already
logic,
knew that. I don't need. I don't need to, like, put it out there. Like,
I have an
that's
age
awesome.
You heard it here,
21
chat.
credit score.
you have
Get on my level.
You heard it.
You heard it here,
You
chat.
heard it
Dalton
here,
hates
chat.
poor people.
No, Tack hates poor people. Stop trying to do that to me.
I don't know
Look
what you're
at him
talking
trying.
about.
Look at him
Shell.
trying to turn himself into the victim.
Shell,
I
are you on
used
my
to be
side? If
homeless.
you are, create a banner. Create a
I
banner
used to be
against Tack.
homeless. I used to be homeless, Dalton. Okay, I was one of the poor.
Say it with me, chat. Dalton hates poor people.
Yep.
Tack just hates.
Propaganda.
Yeah,
You create
you
propaganda,
have to
guys.
remember, mine's not poor people. It's just people. I hate people. Just don't
See,
be
I
poor,
get-
so
I
then
get
Dalton will
behind
love you.
See?
You see, now
It's
here
propaganda,
is
guys.
how you show your hate for the vegans.
Shell.
That
That's
medium
overcooked,
rare
man.
right there. Ah.
That doesn't look medium rare to me.
Oh yeah, it is.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
yeah.
That may be a lighting. I saw pink.
It could be
supposed to
lighting.
know
I
my
saw
steak,
pink. Just gonna
It's
say,
just the lighting.
okay, because if a steak is cooked past 1:30, somebody
No,
deserves to be thrown
this is
into a
buttery,
gulag.
Delicious, man. This is perfect.
I'm a little jealous. I'm not going.
Okay, I had a steak tonight. I had a fucking ribeye and it was delicious.
I just
I
want beef
grilled
jerky.
burgers and brats.
Oh, thanks, Shell. Finally.
Show Dalton some love, so maybe he'll love you back, and maybe then you won't be poor, so then he doesn't have to hate you.
Dalton, did you finally pay Shell so that she's starting to put up banners that show love to you?
No, she's been doing that. I think he sent her maybe like a butthole pic or something.
Nope. Shell does what she does, just out of the love or hate. Who knows? It depends on her mood. I feel like.
Fucking
No, I just do stuff for free.
Renegade eats people.
Shell.
Look at him. Renegade eats people. So Dalton hates poor people, and Renegade just eats people.
He's a
You
cannibal.
know what? You know what?
Thank you,
Chat,
Shell.
I actually like this. Dalton, pay Shell.
Yes.
Why
Dalton
is it
pays
me
Shell.
that has to pay her? I feel like we
Because
should
you're the
all
one that
pay
hates poor
her.
people. I mean, fair.
Yeah, you gotta pay Shell so she's not poor anymore. Cause then, so Dalton hates Shell.
It's the last thing that missing child sees before it's devoured.
Jesus Christ! I still don't know how the fuck we have a media that is so
Hi, Jesse.
complicit in like just covering up everything that they let him get away with sniffing children live on TV. Like it was like no big deal without asking fucking questions.
Because it's who they are.
Mm. If you hate journalists, you don't hate them enough.
You don't tattle on your friends now.
See, Shell, like Dalton hates you. He hates poor people.
Nope. It's all propaganda.
Now he's trying to shut her up. He is trying to quiet the masses.
Oh my God! Look at that.
See the violence inherent in the system.
The banner lies. They're doing a banner war, everybody. This is great.
She deleted my banner.
Oh, she's getting smart.
I will revoke your admin privileges, Shell.
Ooh.
Listen to this. We revoke Dalton's admin privileges.
I'm the owner. You can't revoke me.
We'll find a way.
Tyranny.
Nope.
Tyranny.
Nope.
Tyranny.
Would you revoke me? I'd revoke.
I'd revoke me so hard.
Don't hide your cannibalism behind Biden.
See, you don't know this, Renegade, but Dimmy he revoked himself in the shower before you got on.
Oof.
I mean, as of like an hour before we started this, because I was in chat with Tack, he was helping me set up my new camera. I just got a new camera.
Yeah.
I still had a full-on beard and thick hair.
Yes, he did. He did.
And it pissed me off.
Yeah, now the place that has the most hair in his body is his balls.
Not true.
Not true? You shave those things? Glossy smooth? Oh, okay.
Give him the cut and buff.
Well, you start
Shine
letting
them
it
up.
get too long, and it's very annoying.
Shine them up. He puts cold water on it so they get firm. Gives them a nice spit shine.
Mm-hmm.
Shine a laser pointer on his balls. Blind.
Like in all
half
actuality,
neighborhood.
I was trying to comb out my beard because it had all kind of like turned into a clump because my facial hair curls really bad, and then most of it was just knotted and tangled where I haven't been taking care of it lately. So it's just like, screw it, I'm going down to like about a half an inch and just doing a reset. Just
That's fair.
Reset.
That's fair.
And while I was doing that, I was like, the top of my head, it takes a long time for it to start growing long, but it'll start thickening up to the point that it's almost like lanolin. And so like I cut my hair. It took me over 45 minutes just to cut my hair because of how thick it was. I have to go and change out the cartridge that I use for my razor because my hair legitimately dented my blade.
You know what that sounds like to me?
Like I have
She
way
didn't
too
like him
thick
thick
hair.
after all.
No, I was gonna say it sounds like Dalton hates you because you're too poor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm messaging Shell on Discord right now, so I'm not even paying attention.
Wow. Okay. Look at that. This is how he treats the live streams, everybody.
You know what?
Shell
He
and I
tried.
meet
He
up.
moved it to private chat so that we wouldn't see all his hatred towards her.
Yeah. We now
Not
know
true at
that
all.
Dalton is sending hateful, bigoted messages, sexist messages to Shell.
Propaganda.
Yeah. Secret stuff's going on.
Propaganda. I'm not doing that. Shell is.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I think there
What
is
are
a butthole
you
pic.
threatening her with now? You already threatened to take away her admin privileges. She does this for free because you won't pay her.
Hashtag Dalton is bigoted.
Guys, this just in. I found out the threat that was being made. It was the deployment of the cuttlefish at Cthulhu.
You know, we are on YouTube. I'm not sure if that one flies there, bud.
Good thing we're not monetized.
Nobody can
or else we
say
would've
what
been
that was.
demonetized.
Oh, that is a demonetization right there. Jesus Christ.
Good thing we aren't monetized yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait. Can I just
Well,
highlight?
it's gonna
this
take
one?
us a long time.
Carson in the chat.
No, I
says-
did not. That's a lie.
Four times.
If you
That is a
couldn't
damn
hate
lie.
the man enough,
That's a damn lie. I didn't
Oh,
vote for
my.
Woodrow Wilson either. Okay.
Just so then
Just
chat
putting that
knows, I
one
want
out
no,
there.
we
to
didn't even
put
bring
this
up
out there.
Wilson, and you did it.
Yeah, I
said-
want to put this
yeah,
out
because
there.
I hate him so much.
I want to put this out there. I would have pushed FDR down the stairs in his wheelchair.
I would have pushed him down the stairs without the wheelchair.
No, I'm just saying. I think it would be funnier with the wheelchair, so it just lands on top of him after that final.
I don't want to give him the possibility of like staying safe because if it's like a roll cage. No, out of the wheelchair. Or no. Pick him up and push him down, and then the wheelchair on top of him.
Yeah, and then throw the wheelchair. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We are already at 75% insanity right now. I don't know how
to do it right. You got to make them fall up the stairs.
Have you looked at what I use for my title? Occasionally funny, always insane.
Yeah. Dalton, methinks that percentage meter might be a little off there, bud.
Yeah, it needs to be like
all right,
85,
Shell, 90%. You want more?
I only did 4, so I got to make some new overlays then.
Hey, Dalton, drink another beer. I missed you when you were slurring.
Nope, I'm all out. I'm sobering up now. I'm all out of here. Only about 2 today.
Anyway, the last thing, and I did see Turd brought it up in chat earlier. There were apparently arsonists in Paris. Did you guys see this?
No, I saw that they damaged a bunch of the train boxes, but
that's what it was with arson. So,
okay. But this is Paris.
So it was today. So France's train network was hit by arson attacks hours before the Olympics. So if anybody doesn't know, the Olympics are currently starting to go on, I believe, right?
Did you guys see that? Did you guys see some of the stuff?
Did anybody care?
No, but I mean, it's pretty woke.
Wait, what's woke?
I saw a couple of the screenshots from the opening ceremony, and it was
Oh, I saw the opening. Yeah. Oh my God.
Well, I mean, I haven't. Kept
it's basically a drag show.
It is. No, it's not basically. It is a drag show.
Full on, yeah.
It is a full on drag show. Here's the thing:
for I didn't hate France enough.
For a community that claims that they're so underrepresented, it's so weird how they're constantly in the forefront of everything being shoved down the throats of, everyone. But
because they want to be in your throat, Tack.
Yeah, that ain't happening. That ain't happening, man. But so apparently they were arson attacks. Now I don't really know why. I don't think that they necessarily know why. They're saying they're going to do a probe with the Organized Crime Office and the Anti-Terrorist Subdirectorate, but what do you guys think that this was just because here's the thing, the French people said that they were going to protest against the government and shut this down and shit in the river and
I mean, what was it, terrorism or was it just the French being French?
That's the thing. It's so difficult. It could be. I mean, two things could be true at once. It could just be a bunch of French people burning shit and then some other people that are doing it with particular intention, but apparently it did cause there were fires set off by explosive devices, and they are saying that 80% of the high-speed trains are operating with a 1 to 2 hour delay, which if you realize how many people are there for the Olympics right now, that is an insane backlog. So I just have one thing to say about this. Thank God it's the French.
I mean, fuck France.
Here's the thing. I maintain that blood has memory, and my blood, for whatever reason, just from birth, is just like, yeah, French people kind of suck, and so does England.
I mean, same. Yours attacked them. Mine was attacked by them because most of my bloodline is Romani, and when we ran to France, were persecuted and killed there too.
And my people went there into England and took their pretty women and left the ugly ones, which is why they look the way they do.
It was that weird thing where you did this. What was it called? Bathing.
Oh yeah. See, everybody. I love how everybody assumes that it was forced. It was actually quite the opposite.
Like if you go to actual records that weren't written by the angry dudes there. A lot of them written by the women because they were taught to write when they went with the Vikings.
With the Norse, yes.
The Norse. I was just using Vikings because that's what people normally call them, even though it isn't right.
Yes.
They were taught mathematics and how to write once they got there.
And
even if they were brought over as slaves, they were normally taught to write and do mathematics because they were meant to do jobs.
So for anybody who doesn't know, The women typically liked going out with the Danes, the Swedes, the Norwegians, because they bathed regularly and smelled good, unlike the Englishmen that smelled like dick cheese.
And we're known for having beauty products such as combs.
Made of bones, but still combs nonetheless. And
At that point in time, bone was normal, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you know what I think is really funny is how there's people today, because we imagine things in the context of today, right? Now, you and I are obviously giants, right?
Yeah. Which comes a lot from that ancestry.
Yeah, but at the same time, do you also know that at the time, the average Swede, the average Norwegian was like 5'10", 5'11"?
Which was still giant at that point in time.
It was giant at that point in time. Because like I think like the average Englishman was like 5'5" or something like that. So they just were like just much bigger, and also because of the way that the cultures differed, they were much bigger, muscular wise.
Well, that's like the whole thing.
They were forced to do actual. They were forced to do actual work. Like everyone had to, even your politicians up there were usually either warriors or some other physical job. They also had the food. Everybody ate meat. Everybody had vegetables, etc. They made sure everybody had what they needed to eat, including the lowest of the low. Whereas the English and the French, a lot of times your lowest of the low were eating just grains, which even, across the world, you can see it's a terrible idea. There's a reason why the Chinese lost to the Mongols.
It's also a reason the Chinese are as small as they are today.
Yeah, it's because if you feed your soldiers nothing but just grain as a gruel.
And soy. Grains, beans, soy.
Yeah.
They're small.
They aren't going to grow. You need the protein. I mean, go talk to your average vegan and find out.
Now, Dalton, what is your lineage?
Because we need to know why you hate poor people so much.
So I'm Swedish, right? But what are you? Genuinely.
To be honest with you, I have not dug into my lineage at all. I need to.
Okay. What about you, Renegade?
Well, for me, I've got kind of a little bit of interesting history. My family, like my dad's name, goes all the way back to about 1300 is when we can trace it back to. And one of my great grandfathers was the vice admiral of the Isle of Wight in England, so had some nobility in there. And then they came to the United States very early on, and then participated in the American Revolution. So I'm twice a son of the American Revolution. And then also from my mom's side of the family, we've got German and we've got French in there. So basically being English, German, and French, that's just a recipe for being self-loathing.
All you're missing is Jewish.
Yeah.
Well, that was the stepmother, but we got rid of her.
So I've got German and Romani. And then the other side is Scotch, Irish, and Norse. So it's like this weird mix of all of those. Tracing it back to, and my brain's not connecting, in the play Macbeth, the one that kills Macbeth, that's based off of a historical event. I mean, it's very changed for the theater, but it's off of a historical event. The man that actually killed who Macbeth was in real life, directly related, like straight fucking path.
Wild.
So I'm Swedish,
and I'm also related to like 8 different presidents.
That's kind of cool.
My middle name is McKinley because I'm directly related to him.
So I am aware that through marriage I am related to President Eisenhower. So,
okay. I'm not related to America whatsoever, other than me being here. I am what is known as a visitor. At one point or another, I became a citizen when I was 6, so that's cool. I'm
He's
Swedish.
Actually an alien.
Yes,
like
yes. I'm like Paul, but not played by Seth Rogen.
Okay. Nope. I have a problem with this. Sorry to interrupt. I'm mad,
Die Hard. Is that what you're mad about?
No, I'm upset about this. What I'm about to share. Hold on.
Okay.
I gotta.
Let's
Nope.
see. Let's see.
I'm
been too
mad.
busy.
I've
been too busy eating cookies. I know it wasn't me this time.
I'm so mad at YouTube right now. Hold on. No,
What?
this is unacceptable. Unacceptable. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
This is some bullshit. Unacceptable.
What? Oh, no.
What the fuck? For
I'm
anybody who's just
pissed.
listening, so Soul Gazelle said hashtag Dalton hates Die Hard. Dalton responded, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. YouTube rejected the comment.
That is blasphemy. And we need
That's
to
a
have an
war crime.
inquisition.
Okay, tweet that out at YouTube now.
I
At
think
YouTube now.
No. I know the reason they did it. It's because he misspelled Christmas.
Did I? I
Oh
might
my
have.
God, he did.
Well, let's
what
try
the
this
fuck,
again.
dude?
It's a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie. So
Sounds
I'm,
like
by the
Mike
way,
Tyson
I'm just,
saying it.
yeah, the
Christmas movie.
Christmas. Yep. I am, so I'm Swedish, and then
You guys
like
ready for
some
this?
of my family went to Iceland.
It worked.
It worked.
So it's
Oh, look
legitimately
at
because
that.
you misspelled
Oh.
Christmas.
Oh,
Oh.
Dalton, what was that?
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
So I
Goodness.
thought,
False flag.
there we go. Yeah.
Die
Don't
Hard is a
misspell.
Christmas movie.
It's a
I'm not
Christmas
trying
Merry
to spell.
Christmas.
Everybody.
Happy
Merry
Chrysler.
Christmas. It's July. Christmas in July. Hashtag Dalton can't spell in chat right now. Dalton hates Christmas. Oh, I love it so
This
fucking
man
much.
hates poor people but can't even pay for a tea.
You know why Dalton hates Christmas? Because he has to buy gifts for the less fortunate.
Oh, that's propaganda right there, dude.
No, he hates
That's
poor people
fake
that
news.
much that he hates
Oh my
Christmas.
god.
It's the Porch Pirates.
We're
It's
gonna
the
do a
Porch
Christmas
Pirates that
Carol
set
with
him off.
Dalton as Scrooge.
You guys are mean.
I call Christmas present. Come in and meet me better, man.
Oh my god. I say Renegade has to play the Christmas Carol, you know, the big jolly drinking ghost.
That's a Christmas
just want-
present. That's what I just called for.
That's his name? Is his name Christmas Present?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, I wasn't aware that was his actual name. So that's you.
It's
So then
Christmas
which one
past,
is
Christmas past, Christmas present, and
I
Christmas
thought he was
future.
I thought he was the so which one's Christmas Future? Is that the one that's like
That's
death?
the one that looks like death.
Okay,
Christmas
cool.
past
I call that
is
one.
Usually seen as like a little girl carrying a torch.
Okay.
It has been changed a few
Dalton
times.
Dalton hates sports because he can't buy a vowel.
He had all the
that's
vowels.
good.
He needed a
That's great.
consonant.
Dalton, I think it's time to hit 100%, buddy.
Holy shit.
If Dalton can't
Yeah,
spell, we know it's gone too far. He's that drunk now, everybody.
You know what?
I'm not
Quick
drunk.
trivia. Quick trivia.
What?
How many ghosts are in the Christmas Carol?
84.
7.
Both
You were
of you
both
just-
wrong.
Entirely off.
I don't celebrate
Hey, we're
Christmas.
We're at 100% insanity. What do you expect from us, man?
Better. Thank you, Shell. That's the correct number. Because you have the 3 ghosts of Christmas and Marley.
Mm.
Or
Oh,
5
yeah,
if you're
Marley.
if you're watching the Muppets version.
To
Why are
be
we
fair,
talking
I
about
was
Christmas
closer.
in July? I mean, we are
I
a
was-
long ways out yet.
Actually,
Well,
I
hey,
had the right
Dimmy-
number in my number.
Demi has
Calm
a
down.
Christmas tree behind him. He just
Do I? It's a
he's
green
hiding
screen,
it from all of
motherfucker.
it. Yeah, remove the green screen. Remove the green screen. $10 you have a Christmas tree behind that green screen. $10.
He's actually
$10.
right.
$10.
He's actually right.
I know I am.
He's not.
Easy
He's
$10.
not wrong.
He
I
still
know
has
I'm
his
not.
Christmas tree up.
All I'm from what he just said is I'm getting $10 if I have a Christmas tree. So
No. I get $10 if you have it. No propaganda. I don't see a Christmas tree. Everything's blurred. So wait, I have to owe him $10 because there's not a Christmas tree back there.
Well, either way,
You know
we
what-
all just
you
have
know
to
what?
gaze
No.
into the abyss.
Conspiracy.
Yes.
There's a green screen behind the green screen, and the green screen behind the green screen is actually a different picture.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, okay. Conspiracy theories now. All right, beautiful.
Yeah, I indulge in some conspiracy
Pay
theories.
no attention to the Christmas tree.
Spell
behind the curtain.
conspiracy theory.
I'm good right now.
Wait, hey, so
I'm
Dalton, how do
too
you
poor. I can't
spell-
afford a vowel.
How do you spell presidential?
Oh God, no! Don't do that. Don't do that to me.
Wait,
I missed
so
it.
really,
Right.
No,
that
what?
was the
No,
other
what?
one?
I'm gonna give you an easy
One
one.
time.
Spell Colonel.
In which like context?
I like the rank.
Like
I want to hear this. I want to hear this. Come on.
By the
we're
way,
at
Tack, check
100%
your Discord real
insanity.
quick.
I don't want to do this right now.
Do it.
No, you guys are
Fine.
putting me on the spot in
Fine.
front of a lot
Spell
of people
baloney.
right now. That's a bunch of baloney. My phone's dying.
Yeah, should I spell Colonel since he can't?
Yeah, go for it, bud.
Okay, so it's COLONEL.
Yeah. There's not even a fucking R in it.
Yeah, it's Colonel.
So look, in my defense, I'm a terrible speller. When you ask me like on the spot, now if I'm a muscle memory speller. Like I can type out things. That's how I remember how to spell things. I cannot spell things at the top of my head very well. That's my autism.
Presidential.
I'm just gonna copy and paste what you put, Sergeant Potato,
Dalton.
because
say
I can't. I don't even know how to pronounce that. What is that?
Say it.
I can't.
I can't say that, dude. My dyslexia just fucking fires up on that, and I just spaz the fuck out. Microscopic silicon.
It's either a medicine or a very deadly disease.
I feel like this is one of those things where it literally just means your nose is dripping.
Probably.
Or it's a dinosaur.
Wait, what's that phobia of long words called?
Oh, it's like this long.
Like this long. Yeah, it's
Dude,
like
I
the
hope
size-
that's this.
No,
it's not this.
It's
there's
funny as hell though.
There's also like the fear of anagrams is an anagram.
Oh yeah.
The fear of S, or no, the inability to say
Thank
S's
you.
has like 6 S's in it.
So it's hippo. What is that? Monstrositas quipedilophobia.
I don't know how you got through that last part like so smoothly.
Well, the last part's the easy part. The other part just fucks with my brain.
The whole entire thing messes
Because
mind.
that last part is something that's used on like a shit ton of other diseases.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
Like you're listening to a leftist talk these days. Well, I've got autism and I've got Tourette's and I'm like, so you've been to a doctor for this? No, I self-diagnosed. You shut the fuck up.
I diagnosed on TikTok.
Okay, now they're trying to Brandon Herrera me because I can't spell. Just pointing that out. Not fun. Not cool.
Thank you.
Not cool, guys. Not cool.
No, it's very
Mejor,
cool.
Dalton.
Oh my god.
Tech, did you
Dalton
check your
hates
Discord?
words. I hate words I can't spell.
Yes, I did. Yeah. I did.
Get out of thesaurus.
Jesus Christ.
So
All right.
speaking of thesaurus, every time I go
Let's go.
Every time I go to Google and I Google thesaurus to look up a word, to find, the whole entire synonym and antonym and everything, whatever.
It says
every time I try to spell thesaurus, every time I try to spell
banana without
thesaurus,
singing the song.
I always feel like I feel like I'm inventing a new dinosaur every time I try to spell thesaurus. It's just a thing.
It's not hard.
That's
It's
the
a
point, though.
Triceratops.
Like
I'm only into lesbian
okay.
dinosaurs.
They drive a Subaru.
Yes, they do. They should make a Subaru Lickalotopus. It'd be a great car. I'd buy like 3.
It would live through anything, including
Thank
never
you,
putting
Shell.
oil in it, but it's going to have terrible gas mileage.
Yeah. You know what's really funny is, the whole joke that lesbians all drive Subarus, and my wife, being a previous lesbian, drives a Subaru. And also vapes. So
It's
she just
weird.
fits
It's
it
weird.
to a T.
It's
Dude,
weird that
I
an
am
entire
on the
brand of
Washington
car is
Coast
meant
right
for
now.
just one fucking.
I am on the Washington
quality.
Coast right now. I am at the mothership for the Subaru driving lesbians out here. The crunchy granola. And it's like you can spot them a mile away. Like there's no hiding it.
Now, really quick, Nighthawk has a question for you on the screen there, bud.
Any McClellans in your lineage? Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
And I don't use my real last name on the internet, so I'm not going to go through who my family actually was.
Yeah.
But actually, a fairly common last name. We settled in Maryland, and there's like still stuff around there named after us. So that's a little bit of a clue. I'm wanting to say like 1730 or so is when we came over here. I can't remember for sure, but very early on in American history.
Okay. Dalton doesn't do anything. Dalton drinks water, and he's like an innocent boy who doesn't do any drugs.
Look at him. He looks like the child that you just picked up, like he's been eating saltines in a room by himself for the past 30 years. Like,
so I just want to point this out.
You can't even
The chat's
argue against
calling
it.
me a
You
crown
just-
eater. The chat is calling me a crown eater.
No, they didn't call you a crown eater. They called you a crayon eater.
Crayon eater. What is a crown? Spell crown, Dalton.
Pretty sure that's the thing that goes in your head.
Crayon.
So crayon.
Crayon.
Yeah.
It's
a
Friday,
crown
dude.
eater.
I'm tired. Okay, I got 3 hours of sleep last night. I didn't even have a 5-hour energy drink today. Okay, leave me alone, dude. I'm 2 beers deep. Leave me alone.
Maybe you shouldn't stay up so late just hating on poor people.
Yeah, you ever think about that?
Propaganda, dude. Propaganda.
Everybody.
Propaganda what?
Everybody who has an
I'm
ex,
looking at
I
you.
want you to send Dalton poor people memes. And just ask the question, why do you hate me so much?
I want this thread.
I
Thank you,
also want
Jesse.
this thread.
I take that as sympathy.
What did Jesse say?
She said poor Dalton.
Poor Dalton?
Does that mean he hates himself?
Oh my God. He's a
You guys want a
self-hating
hilarious
poor.
poor people story? Now that
Oh
I'm
my
thinking
God.
about it.
I'm about done with you guys.
So way back in the day when I'm
Already?
going to college, right? I'm
Okay.
living down in Corpus Christi, Texas, and I figured out that like the best way I could make money was running a towing company. So I started doing like consent towing, but that didn't pay very good. And I realized, hey, there's all these parking enforcement issues. This was in Corpus Christi, Texas, where I was going to school. And so I started doing enforcement towing and got really, really good at it. But the problem was because I'd gotten really good at it, it started kind of limiting the places downtown where people could park. And so the homeless guys picked up on this. And so they'd go buy themselves the yellow reflective vest and one of those metal clipboards and a receipt book and a flashlight. And they would go down there and start charging people to park on the lots that I was towing off of. And so, I'd go down there and I'd tow these cars and the people would be mad because they had paid to park there. And they didn't realize they got robbed. And so you want to talk about people being mad as hell. I mean, because they were paying like $20 to $40 to park in these parking lots because they were like going down to concerts downtown or whatever. And oh man, that just, you want to talk about something that will make you hate the homeless. Like that right there, just having to deal with so much crap from these guys. And then, then the police like wouldn't do anything about it. Like they arrested him a couple of times, but the guy was like back on the street the next day doing it again. And the prosecutor wasn't following through with the charges. And so, I mean, just an endless shit show down there.
See, my poor story is a lot less awful. So for anybody who doesn't know, I was homeless. And when you're homeless and you do certain things. So what I did is I found all the hot chicks. And what you can really get away with is as long as you're really, really good at eating somebody out and doing certain deeds, you get a free fucking room for the night or the weekend, depending on the girl. So I hoard myself out for a place to live. Just
there's a term for that. There's actually a term for what you were doing there.
Oh,
it's called hobosexual.
There you
I
go.
thought it was
Yep.
just called employment because we're all horse to the government.
That too. That too. Dalton eats food in front of homeless children for fun. Dalton's the kind of guy that goes to an orphanage, fucking fills out all the paperwork with a fake name, and then laughs as they chase after his car.
That's so evil.
I was a prostitute. I was a male escort for a number of years. And I am not shy about talking about that.
Dalton's the reason we no longer have orphanages. He bought them all because he wanted to put McDonald's in their places.
Holy shit.
You pig.
Come on, he's just giving them kids life skills, putting them to work.
Oh my god. I don't have it in me to fight back right now. You guys are awful.
Good, you're learning.
The chat
You are
understands
learning.
what's going on.
Don't fight back.
They're on my
Let it
side.
happen.
Let it
Are
happen.
they?
It's just like anal sex. The more
Really?
you
Because
clench, the
it
harder
looks
it's gonna hurt.
looks like Soul's on our side because it's Dalton is CCP.
Yes, I do think Shell's correct. I think it is time for us to end the stream, everybody. But what I'm going to say is I hope you enjoyed the weekly show. We had a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Renegade, for joining us today.
Happy to be here.
Yes.
No, it was a ton of fun having you. It's always good to get another perspective, and also, you contribute to the chaos very well.
We'll absolutely have to do it again sometime.
Hell yes.
Yes, absolutely.
1,000%.
Shenanigans.
Every time.
Yes,
There
yes,
always
every
is.
single time. So, really quick, let's just everybody make sure that you check out all of the ets. I'm not sure if Shell can get them in the chat, but or Dalton, I
Join the
know.
Discord.
Join the Discord. Make sure to follow.
Yep.
Everybody
Like,
but Dalton on
subscribe,
X.
share. Or nobody but me. Either or. I will say this real quick.
No, follow him on X.
We are also streaming this to Rumble for the first time tonight to test it, and it looks like it's working. So
Are there any
next
views?
stream we'll probably promote Rumble a little bit. So
Yes.
we'll give you guys a little alternative. If YouTube's not your jam, you guys can, go with Rumble if you guys want. So hopefully that will help.
Yes, it will. So now, Renegade, where can people find you?
At Renegade_Sailor on X.
All right. And as I said, do actually follow Dalton. Please send him poor people memes, especially like the what is it, the little orphan that says, please, can I have some more Oliver Twist? Send that to
there we
Dalton.
go.
He needs poor people memes and feet pics. Okay, this is
A lot of feet pics.
I do not need any
of
feet
them.
pics.
All the
I am
feet
not into
pics.
that. No.
Especially if it's really hairy or they just got like fucked up nails. Like,
yeah,
he's
the fucked up
really
toenails.
into it.
Yeah, they're like all yellow and they're infected. You got some sort of fungal thing going on.
Yeah,
Like the
the
ones
vegan
where it
feet
looks like
pics.
they can sweep
The
down and
vegan
pick up
feet pics.
picked up a pet dog with them. Like he really wants those.
Oh my fucking. Dalton uses his claws to climb trees. I think that's it, everybody. Have a great night.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Peace, guys.
Night.
Are you in the stream or am I?